Good morning. I'm Arvell Reese, sir. Happy opening day to Reds and Guardians fans and everyone else not the Giants or the Yankees. San Francisco was shut out by New York 7-0 last night in Game 1 of 162 for both squads. Today at 4:10, Cincinnati hosts the Boston Red Sox. Here with that one over on the Fan, too. That's 1460 on the AM dial. Tonight at 10:10, Cleveland opens the season in Seattle against the Mariners. One of the Guardians' top prospects, Travis Bazzano, will start the season in Columbus. The Clippers begin their season Friday in Iowa. Columbus will host Indianapolis next Tuesday in the home opener at Huntington Park. In college football yesterday, Ohio State hosted all 32 NFL teams for their annual Pro Day. Buckeyes resume spring practice this morning. And on the ice tonight in Montreal, the Blue Jackets battle the Canadiens at 7 here on the Fan with coverage at 6:30. This update is sponsored by Uber Eats. Uber Eats is a great deal waiting for you at Scramblers from now until March 31st to get a buy one, get one free deal on the Manhandler Skillet on the app. Terms apply.
Your morning just got more interesting. Distilled and barrel-picked for your listening pleasure. Bo Bishop, a local sports media legend. What William T. Sherman was to the Union Army, he is to Northern College football. A husband, a father, and middling youth sports coach. He's friends with Central Ohio sporting royalty.
I'm talking to Ohio State Athletic Director Ross Bjorken. Coach Day walking on with us right now. Good to see you, buddy. Good buddy Austin Ward. My good buddy Tim May, the Tim May Show. The great Doug Lavery's joining us.
Hi, everybody. Dom Barry here.
Reese came in and he handed me papers.
Yeah,
and then
it's a rundown.
And then he said, "You see that button? That's the only button you need to worry about. Don't touch. There's 8,000 buttons in front of me." Oh, I didn't know what he was talking about.
The one that says on.
We blew the budget on this imaging, and only two guys answered our ad on Craigslist. Ryan Baker and Eric Reeser. Act accordingly. You're now listening to Bishop and Friends.
Bishop and Friends is sponsored by Diamond Seller, your true jeweler for over 75 years.
Happy opening day. Except for the Giants and the Yankees. You did your thing yesterday. Eric Reeser, Ryan Baker, baseball enthusiasts, Joshua Perry, the pride of Olentangy, joining us on a Thursday edition of the program. We got a lot to do today. For the next 3 hours, Paul Finebaum at 10:30, Jody Shelley at 11:30. You heard in the update, all 32 teams were in the house yesterday for Ohio State's Pro Day. A little bit more than 100 representatives, talent evaluators from the National Football League got to lay their eyes on 17 Buckeyes, hoping to hear their names in the NFL draft. And Joshua, you were in the house for that. How different is the feeling from being in the media as you are now to when you were a player going through everything?
A lot less nervous.
Yeah.
I'll tell you that much. Super relaxed feeling for me. I mean, it's great to catch up with a lot of people. It's also good to watch these guys get to go through the process. Obviously, the workout portion, which is what everybody was interested, went well. But there was a lot of mixing and mingling and conversation that was happening in the background, too. And I think that's just as important. I know we're going to get into some of the coaches that we're seeing out there. And I saw some guys having conversations with them as well. But for me, it was just good to kind of get back in the building and watch those guys do their thing.
Yeah, I do think with the on-field workouts for a lot of the guys, and we've made the point over the past couple of days of Caleb Downs, Arvell Reese, Carnell Tate, Sonny Styles, are film guys. You just turn on the tape and watching them play, and that'll tell you pretty much all you need to know. And so for the conversations, like I'll make this point again, that it's still weird that John Harbaugh is the head coach of the New York Giants, but he was as active as anybody yesterday in talking to the top defenders that Ohio State's going to produce, because they'd probably like to have one of those when they pick in the top 10 coming up here in, 28 days. So we'll have plenty of Pro Day stuff to go over. It is opening day for baseball for most of the teams. Guardians are out west taking on the Mariners in Seattle. The Reds have the Red Sox today at 4:10. You can hear that game over on the Fan, too. It's a citywide holiday in Cincinnati, kind of a bucket list for me, where they have the parade that starts in the morning. It starts in the middle of the morning, I should say, and then festivities continue until that 4 o'clock first pitch. I wish that everybody was playing today. I do wish for the Guardians, you wouldn't start your series out west like they do every year, but it is a tad too cold usually to play games in baseball in Cleveland in March.
Listen, more power to all the Guards fans that are going to be staying up. I'm worried about my guy Tyvis. I know he loves his Guardians. He's got the early wake-up call, so I don't know how much he's going to get to see. I'm worried for you as well, Reeser. I mean,
I'm going to try.
Are you going to make it?
No, I'll fall asleep before the game ends. I know my limitations. Fortunately, you have games in the Sweet 16. I think one starts around the same time tonight. You got 4 games, 4 regional semifinal games. So I think like 9-10 might be the first, or might be the tip time for the last game. So
why are we doing this?
I'm going to try.
I can't. Like that's the hardest, the worst part about wanting to do this job well. Mm-hmm. Sometimes you gotta extend yourself in ways that are very uncomfortable, and staying up late is discomfort for me at this point.
Agreed.
I think it helps. Like my argument for naps, I love naps. I think naps are great. So get you a little nap and maybe you can stay up later. As a Cincinnati Reds fan, it is a shame to me that the Cincinnati Reds aren't the first game of the baseball season like they used to be every year. Reeser, I've been lucky enough to go down to 2 or 3 opening days for the Reds in Cincinnati, and it really truly is, as you said, it's a holiday. Like, there are people down there that are not going to the game. They're just down there to be a part of the festivities. I also don't understand. I know it's been a while now, but why we're starting baseball in March? It always used to start in the beginning of April. Mm-hmm. It also used to start on Mondays. Now we have this weird, well, let's start it on Thursday, take Friday off, and then let's finish the series on the weekend. It's really weird because I think I remember the first time the Reds weren't the team to open, it was because they were starting on Monday and they started the baseball season for Sunday Night Baseball on ESPN. So whatever the first game was a Sunday night game that they carried. But it's one of those days, especially for my fandom and my life, where opening day is like, oh man, there's hope here. There's hope here. And with the Reds, I feel like there truly is. And the Guardians, I feel like there's almost always hope. They're just such a well-run organization that it's almost every year they're going to be fighting for a playoff spot. But we talked about it yesterday. For the Reds this year, it's, to me, if you're a Reds fan, it's almost, well, let's not just make the playoffs. Let's win a series this year. And that's exciting.
Yeah, I don't know where I'm at with the Guardians and expectations because they've won the Central 3 of the last 4 seasons. They have one of the lowest payrolls in baseball, and somehow they're able to just eke out division titles. I mean, it's always, at least for the last 5 years, it's the Detroit Tigers' division to lose. I mean, the Guardians signing this offseason was Reese Hoskins, and he's sports ancient in terms of his age, but they signed him. I think he lives in Sacramento. They signed him midway through spring training, and he drove from Sacramento to Arizona, and they said, well, he can hit left-handed pitchers.
He didn't want to play for the Sacramento A's?
I mean, there's an availability right in his hometown. I'm looking tonight, 10:05 is the scheduled tip for Illinois and Houston out of the South region. So that's at the Honda Center in Houston. So maybe a home game for the Cougars, at least for the regional semifinal and the regional final, if they're able to make it past the Illini tonight. That's a TBS True TVer.
Love True TV.
Make sure you
have Love True TV.
True TV dialed up.
Also, kind of weird, and I know they're not too different. Mm-hmm. And I know Texas is, a couple hours behind or however that is, but the game in California is going to tip before the game in Texas. Like, it's just kind of weird that the California games start earlier. It's all...
Yeah, you've got West Regional semifinals. The first one tonight, 7:10, Texas and Purdue. And then at 9:45, Arizona and Arkansas. Both of those are in San Diego. And you're not telling me they can't start at 4 o'clock Eastern?
What are we doing?
They can, but I think it's just the CBS and Turner, and I guess whoever owns them now, they want to do the primetime thing, and they want to dominate it. And you will just allow for the older folks to not have to stay up too late. It's a youth movement. It was a youth movement for Ohio State football. I think with the roster additions, they've skewed more old, but you still have Jeremiah Smith on the roster. Mm-hmm. And we were talking over the past couple of days and wondering what he might do at Pro Day if he was going to do anything. I think the NFL scouts and talent evaluators are there to see the current Buckeyes in the 2026 class, but also get to take a look at Jeremiah and Julian. You saw Julian out there yesterday, and we'll get more on how he performed and what he was able to show for NFL talent evaluators, but Jeremiah didn't do anything.
No.
He came out in a blue blue sweatsuit.
Yep.
He had a sweatshirt.
Yes.
Blue sweatpants.
Had his Adidas shoes on.
Which that's a no-no, isn't it?
Well,
different
At one
regimes.
time, at least.
Listen, it
Also-
might still be a no-no, but I'm not exactly sure you're going to tell Jeremiah he needs to put a different sweatsuit on now.
Yeah, good luck telling Jeremiah Smith, hey, we're going to need some push-ups out of you.
Yeah.
For that blue attire. This was Tim May and Clay Hall caught up with Jeremiah and asked him about his lack of on-field participation for yesterday.
I would love to. I chose not to for a reason. I don't want to say a reason why, but I chose not to go out there today. So, yeah.
Jeremiah, does it help though that you know how many people are going to be watching you next year? You got to bring, you have to bring your A game on a day like this. Am I wrong about that?
No, you're not. I mean, you definitely got to, bring everything that you got. This is where you're making money at, and you got to, perform at a very high level on the pro day and, combine and things like that. So, yeah.
So not knowing exactly why he didn't go out there, we can, I think, recklessly speculate that he didn't want to take any of the shine away from the guys performing.
Yeah, I mean, there's that. And also, what
do you need to see from Jeremiah at this point?
Except for him standing out there. It's funny because you could see guys, and he looked like a pro.
Mm-hmm.
Literally the whole fit and everything. But you could see some of the guys like, oh man, can't wait to watch this guy, and we have the opportunity to. So, it's not like he really needed to do anything. It would have been fun for us to sit there and watch. But also to your point, let Carnell go out there and do his thing. Let Max Clare go out there and do his thing. And you just stand in the background.
So Jaden Fielding out there, the consternation of a lot of Buckeye fans. Yeah. If he's able, he's got to be automatic from 50 to make it the National Football League. Yeah. So if he's like he was at Ohio State and in key moments missing chip shots, he's not going to have a very long career. But
here's the thing. They said in practice,
automatic.
Something he could do. So, if he can break through that, probably a little bit of a mental block there. If you break through that, then you never know.
I heard them on T-Bone and Tyvis this morning talking about Carnell Tate and him playing in that game against Bishop Sycamore up at the Hall of Fame with IMG. How'd you forget about Jaden Fielding? He was on that team too, hitting field goals.
Bishop Sycamore.
Who else shined yesterday for the Buckeyes at Pro Day? We'll discuss that next. Bishop and Friends on the Fan.
We're the girthiest radio station in the history of radio. Uncomfortably girthy. This promo is uncomfortable. The Fan, Ohio's girth destination.
Hey, what's up? It's T-Bone. Tired of snoring? Dr. Mark Levy can help with a custom mouthpiece that opens your airway and stops the snoring. No mask, no noise. Call 1-800-MORE-SLEEP or visit sleepbettercolumbus.com today. Stop snoring. Sleep better. Live better.
President Trump has shown you are safer when strong leaders stand with law enforcement. That's why, as governor, Vivek Ramaswamy will partner with police to uphold our laws, keep dangerous criminals behind bars, and protect your family. Law enforcement knows Vivek has their back. That's why 65 Ohio sheriffs endorsed him, including Sheriff Stephen Lavorchek.
Safe streets don't just happen. They happen when criminals know tough leaders are in charge. Ohio law enforcement supports Vivek Ramaswamy because, like President Trump, Vivek supports us. Vivek will empower police to arrest violent criminals quickly and decisively, putting trained resource officers in every school and restoring law and order statewide, so our families feel secure in our homes and communities. Vivek's proudly endorsed by President Trump and Ohio law enforcement. Join us in supporting Vivek Ramaswamy.
Lower costs, bigger paychecks, better schools. Vivek Ramaswamy for governor.
Paid for by Vivek Ramaswamy and Rob McCauley for Ohio.
Does your Ford need service? At the Capital Ford of Columbus Service Department, our factory-trained technicians use genuine Ford Motor Company parts to keep your vehicle built Ford tough. Get your vehicle serviced right the first time at Capital Ford of Columbus in Whitehall.
With all that can go wrong at your home, it's enough to make you want to say, oh, brother. With Brothers Roofing and Construction, one call covers it all. Roofing, siding, rotting decks, we cover it all. So visit us online at brothersroofingconstruction.com.
Our yoga instructor challenged us to find inner peace. I found it faster than anyone. After 4 seconds, I stood up and screamed, I found Nirvana! I win! They asked me to leave. I guess they don't respect winning. Bet365 does, though. New customers get $365 in bonus bets just for betting $10. Namaste, losers. Bet365. Winning is everything. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-MY-RESET. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in Ohio. T&Cs apply. In-app only.
Your mornings are jam-packed. So if you're going to add anything, make it your favorite bite from Tim Hortons. Buy any size beverage and add a daily baked donut for $1, a tasty bagel for $2, or a freshly cracked hot breakfast sandwich for just $3. It's the best way to add more to your morning. The 1, 2, 3 menu, only at your neighborhood Tim Hortons. At participating U.S. restaurants, must ask for offer in restaurant. Tax extra. Exclusions and terms apply at timhortons.com/offer-terms.
Can't get enough of your favorite fan content? Good news. We're on all the digitals. Follow 971 The Fan on X, Facebook, YouTube, The Talk, and Gram. Your digital home for endless shenanigans. The Fan.
Hey, it's T-Bone again. Listen up. Sleep apnea doesn't have to rule your nights. Dr. Mark Levy's been treating snoring and sleep apnea for over 15 years with proven results. And now he has an office in Marysville. Call 1-800-MORE-SLEEP or go to sleepbettercolumbus.com. Stop snoring, sleep better, live better.
Flexible, secure, fun. Oh, and great pay, too. Are you not sure what you want to do for a career? Or are you thinking of changing careers? Being a dental hygienist or dental assistant may be the perfect fit for you and provides all of these perks plus more. Talk with a dentist in your community or visit ODA.org to learn more. Become a valuable member of the dental team and start helping people love their smile. This message is brought to you by the members of the Ohio Dental Association.
Some foot issues just can't be fixed by those expensive shoe stores or shoe inserts. A foot exam from a doctor of podiatric medicine, who is the medical expert in foot and ankle care, may give solutions after doing a complete foot examination. If you suffer from foot, heel, or ankle pain, let us help you find a member of the Ohio Foot and Ankle Medical Association so you know you are being treated by the very best.
For more information or to find a member of the Ohio Foot and Ankle Medical Association near you, visit ohiofoot.org.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Partly sunny to mostly cloudy skies today. Very breezy and warm as highs soar in the mid to upper 70s to even the low 80s. And then for tonight after 7 p.m., chances of showers and storms, some which could be strong to severe with heavy downpours, so make sure you have ways to get warnings. For Friday, chances of rain linger in the early morning, turning mostly cloudy and much colder with highs in the mid to upper 40s. For The Fan, I'm meteorologist Meredith Garfalo with the 10 Weather Impact Forecast.
The Big Nine was a sad, incomplete place. Enter Ohio State. The rest is history. The Buckeye Show.
Weeknights at 6.
The Fan. They'll offer betting advice, but don't bet on it being good. You're listening to Bishop and Friends.
You can bet on everybody wanting a Buckeye. Whether it be parents want their kids to be Buckeyes, kids want to grow up, kids growing up want to play football for the Buckeyes, and 32 NFL teams would love to draft one of these 17 Buckeyes coming up here in about 28 days. Joshua, you were in attendance for Ohio State's Pro Day yesterday. What was the biggest thing that stuck out about you about just the overall pageantry of it?
Yeah, I mean, it's the personnel that's in the building, and we talked about Giants coach John Harbaugh
Still
being
weird.
there. It is very weird to say. I saw him spending a lot of time with Ryan Day, and I'm sure they were, sharing some thoughts about the coaching profession, things of that nature, but also like, give me your thoughts on this player, that player. And then we saw him talking to Arvell Reese and spending time around Sonny Styles and also talking to Caleb Downs. Watched the Jets roll in. When I was coming in, their personnel was all rolling in. So Aaron Glenn walks in the building, and I texted you guys. Frank Reich was standing right there, and they had like a Sprinter bus full of people, and they wanted to check out who might be available. Who are you going to take? Is Arvell Reese really going to be your guy? Is that something you want to do? And so that's where it starts to get really serious, is when you see head coaches, you see, top front office executives that are in the building and actively chatting up folks, whether it's James Laurinaitis to figure out something about Sonny, or whether Matt Patricia had everybody coming up to him. It was the thing we talked about yesterday, where the NFL guys know him very well, and they know he's going to be honest, and they're very comfortable talking to him. And a lot of guys were having conversations like that.
How'd Caleb Downs' knee look?
This knee that was an issue that nobody knew was an issue. He looked great. I mean, first off, watching him run around in shorts, like the guy is just built like a football player. Mm-hmm. And then he moves around really smoothly. Another one where I think if you talk to him, you can see how serious and how smart he is. And then the other thing ear hustling on some conversations.
Of course.
Is he's starting to show a little bit more of that personality that his teammates and coaches got to see a ton of to some of the NFL personnel. And that's a big deal for him because I think everybody fell in love with the work, fell in love with the leadership, but also they love being around the guy because he's a fun guy to be around.
Yeah, I think one of the, what you see on social media now is your videos, pictures, little snippets from everybody that was in attendance. And even just watching Caleb Downs participate like high point drills.
Mm-hmm.
Just watching him move and do football things is entertaining because of the quality he does it at, that even the layperson can tell, like, that's a special talent.
Oh, 100%. And speaking of watching drills, like, that was Carnell Tate for me, watching him run routes. And I'm standing next to a scout that I know, and he's like, you don't hear his feet at all when he runs. You don't hear his hands when he catches the ball, and everything is smooth. And it was exactly that. It was a smooth workout. It was very clean. He looks like a professional. He's built really well. And he showed all the things that popped up on tape. It's funny because one of the criticisms after he ran at the combine is he fast enough?
He didn't run the 40 yesterday.
He didn't, nor should he have.
No.
But the thing that you start to realize, and it shows up when you're watching him run routes on air, is how often is a wide receiver ever actually running at top speed in a route? You have to tempo routes, and he's one of the best in college football and will be one of the best in the league as he continues his development at tempoing routes. It all shows up, and it makes a lot of sense when you watch it.
I know things have changed in the NFL over time, but Jerry Rice was like a 4.6 guy. Yeah. He was never the fastest guy ever, and that never hampered him at all. You mentioned social media, Reese, and you start to see things from Pro Day, people putting things out there, and you see Aaron Glenn and all the Jets coaching staff and regime there watching intently as Arvell Reese is doing drills, and you talked about Harbaugh. It sure seems like Harbaugh and the Giants, which you're right, Reese, that is weird to say. Harbaugh is the head coach of the New York Giants. They seem very interested in an Ohio State defender. And it's sure, there's other pro days they're going to be at, and they're going to see other guys. But it sure seems like Caleb Downs or Sonny Styles is going to go number 5 to the Giants.
It would make sense to me that if you're John Harbaugh, you would want to get things started with like one of your kind of defensive players. And I think he looks at those two guys that you mentioned specifically, and Sonny and Caleb, and is like, these are guys that fit my mold. These are guys that I would want on a defense that I want to build out. So I wouldn't be shocked if it happened. I know he spent some time talking to them. I'm sure they're going to have some more meetings or whatever the case is before they get to the NFL draft. But the idea of him saying that those guys fit exactly what I look for in terms of traits, in terms of personality, is not a shocker.
Yeah, Harbaugh was also on Mike Francesa's podcast a couple weeks ago, and he talked about having the opportunity to go look at potential future Hall of Fame safety Caleb Downs. And the potential future Hall of Fame safety are the words that Harbaugh used when discussing Downs. I'm looking at a mock draft right now that has Styles going to the Giants at 5 overall. Arvell Reese is already off the board. He goes to the Jets at 2. For Reese, I saw a picture floating around yesterday because this is also what you get with the social media discussion of the bendiness of a player. And they had a side-by-side of Arvell Reese in the bend against one of those blocking dummies and Ruben Bain in the bend. And Bain's bend in the one still image, Bain's lower to the ground. Bain has a little bit more bend. Arvell doesn't bend as much. And a takeaway that somebody actually gave was, this is why you can't take Arvell high.
Yeah, okay. I mean, well,
what are we doing?
It's on the show sheet for later, but like if you have 30-inch arms, then you better be able to bend like Gumby, right? So like if we're going to do that, then we have to put all the inputs in there. Watch the tape of how Arvell gets it done. And by the way, there are multiple clips of him rushing the edge where he has plenty enough bend to get underneath an offensive lineman, but also he's got the length to keep people off of his body, and he's got the ability to convert his speed to power as well. So probably less of a polished rusher than Ruben Bain. Like, I'll give people that every day of the week. But if we're talking about who you can mold into an elite rusher and traits-wise, who you would rather draft, it's going to be Arvell Reese. There's not a question about that.
And Joshua, correct me if I'm wrong. And in that picture, it's impressive. Ruben Bain looks like a crotch rocket, taking a racing motorcycle, going around a curve.
Yeah.
But correct me if I'm wrong. If you're that low, an offensive lineman's just going to drop and push you right to the ground. Like, if you're that low, you don't have a lot of balance there, and they're just going to drop and push you straight down.
You better be able to get down and get back up pretty quick is exactly what that comes down to. And listen, I like guys who can bend really well. It becomes an advantage. Some of these offensive linemen are so stiff that they can't get you down there. But at the same time, you got vets that are crafty enough that they see you drop like that, and they're dropping on top of you. Now you got a crushed rib.
I also saw some videos of Julian Sain dropping some nice balls into Carnell Tate.
Yep.
And it was cool. You know, Julian got some action yesterday. Tavian St. Clair got some action yesterday. Also, former Youngstown State wide receiver Max Tomczak. He's the nephew of Ohio State's Mike Tomczak, participated in throwing it in pro day, doing some workouts. And I was just curious about like that kind of an olive branch for guys to come in and work out, like a Max Tomczak.
Yeah, I mean, it helps when you're Max that your uncle is Mike Tomczak, right, and bumped into him. Great to see him out there. But this is a thing that's happened before as well, where guys at like Ohio Dominican, for example, will need a spot to work out, or some of the smaller school guys who wouldn't traditionally host a pro day. Like if there was a Mountain Union guy, for example, they would make their trip down to Columbus and they would work out with the Ohio State guys. So I love seeing that. And there's always a couple of names that just really off the radar of guys who have played college ball here that pop up. Julian looked good. It's so wild, first off, like watching him throw the NFL ball compared to what we typically see with the college ball. It's wonderful watching his deep ball, and he's a guy who has to get a little bit more air under it because he doesn't have that ability to just like laser a deep ball.
Yeah.
But the way that it drops when it's coming down to the wide receiver, like it's a steep drop, and it's so impressive how accurate he is with that. And then Tavian St. Clair, and I'm not trying to be the guy who's like, oh, you know, all enamored with the backup quarterback. That's a big, good-looking athlete, 6'3", 6'4". He's about 230, got a good arm. You know, like you start to look at the depth of that quarterback room and see the mock drafts for next year, and people expect Julian to go high. He's probably on his last year here. Tavian looks like he'll be ready, not today, but down the line, could be dangerous.
And I think that's one of the things, it's never too early to look at the future of this Ohio State football team. And the future starts with the quarterback, because you are going to lose Jeremiah. You are going to lose Julian. All right, so who's up next? And I think this pro day, I think pro days in general are all great for things like that. Things like Julian getting out there, things like Tavian St. Clair getting out there. What about guys on the defensive front? I'm interested to hear what you thought about Caden Curry, about Caden McDonald, and you hear from Ryan Day on Ohio State's Pro Day coming up in 2 minutes. Bishop and Friends on the Fan.
Men, we all know how important sex is in a relationship, both for you and your partner. But erectile dysfunction ruins sex, which can often have serious impacts on your relationship as well. This is Jeff for Tri-State Men's Health, and if ED is a problem in your life, you understand the impacts it has on you and the one you love. But I'm here to tell you that ED is a treatable condition, and almost without exception, you can have really good sex again. At Tri-State Men's Health, we're experts in treating ED. We've treated tens of thousands of men with protocols that are effective in well over 90% of cases, which means if you're like most guys, good sex will be the norm. You could even last up to an hour or more and bring a level of intimacy for you and your partner that might just astound you both. It's time to have really good sex again, so call us. Just $99 gets you blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 800-900-9654 or go to tristatemenshealth.com. We have 6 offices in the tri-state area to serve you.
What can ADP do for small business? We help answer the business questions, like how do you track employee time? How do you do payroll taxes? Or what does compliance even mean? So small businesses can focus on bigger questions. Now florists can ask, can we invent another holiday to sell bouquets? Pizza shops can ask, how do we stuff a calzone into a pizza crust? And pool cleaners can ask, what is that thing in the filter? These are the questions you can focus on when ADP takes care of the business of your small business. ADP for small business.
I'm Leslie from Pella Columbus.
And I'm Wilson from that other window place.
Wilson, we put new windows in a Dublin home last week. You wouldn't believe how much new light was let in. Changed the entire mood of the home.
You don't need fancy windows to change the mood of a room, Leslie. Know what else will do that? Wilson's Wicks, my new candle line. Here, smell this one.
Oh, that's bad.
I call it warm tuna salad. is not for everyone.
Get the windows that can completely change the look and feel of your home at PellaColumbus.com.
Bishop and Friends is sponsored by Diamond Seller, your true jeweler for almost 80 years. The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
What's up?
What's up, man? What's up with you?
Here's what's up on a Thursday edition of the program. Ohio State's Pro Day and 17 Buckeyes hoping to raise and elevate their draft stock in advance of the NFL draft on April 23rd. And Caden McDonald was probably the wrong person to use with Caden Curry because McDonald's probably a first-round pick, maybe the upper teens, 28. I see him going 28th overall to the Houston Texans. But for a guy like Caden Curry or Davis Nigbinosin or Max Clare, a second, third, a fourth-round guy, just some of the things that you saw yesterday you think could elevate their draft stock to maybe second round or maybe third round pick.
Yeah, I mean, Igbinosin is the kind of guy that stands out in these types of workouts because of the way that he looks physically and his athleticism. And I think the more and more he can show that off, it can wow people. Additionally, getting in the room, getting on the board, talking to people, like, do you feel more confident in his football knowledge? Do you feel more confident in his ability to come into the league and cut down on some of the penalties that he's had? So I think these types of days are big for a guy like him in terms of maybe moving a little bit or solidifying draft stock. In the case of a guy like Caden Curry, I think teams just, they kind of think he is who he is. Yeah. And so if you, first off, you want to make sure that the boxes are all checked. And what I mean by that is if I thought he was this type of athlete, is that what shows up when he's going through drills? And if it's not, you have to go back and reevaluate the tape. If it is, you just check it off the box. So he's going through that process. And then if you like him, you like him. And if you didn't like him, you probably still don't like him. So that's kind of what that day is for him. It's more of a, let me check these boxes. Let me leave no doubt about who I am for the people that would want to draft me. And then we'll wait until draft day to see what happens.
After Pro Day, Ryan Day held court with the media at the Woody Hayes Athletic Center and just gave his overall thoughts on the festivities Wednesday.
It's a great way to showcase the program, but the feedback that we're getting from so much of the NFL personnel is, one, the type of guys that we have, which you guys get a chance to see, on a weekly basis. But then just overall, just how we run everything today and how our guys are doing once they get to the NFL, and that's a big part of it. And I think, with the landscape of college changing, the type of guys that we're putting out is impressive in the NFL, and just got so much of that feedback today, and so that was good to hear. But the most important thing coming out of it was I feel like our guys did a great job. They looked great. Everything was really clean, very professionally done. Mick did a great job again with everything. I mean, we got everybody in and out of here pretty quick, and I just heard some stories of maybe some other places they went to where it didn't go as fast and it wasn't as organized. So that was good to hear.
Pretty efficient day.
That stood out to me. I thought I was going to be over there a little bit longer than I actually was. It was a very fast day. And the idea that they were efficient, they were fast, it was organized and other places weren't, might not seem like a big deal. But that's a reflection of how the program runs on a day-to-day basis. And when you have those people in, you always want to put your best foot forward. And you don't want them leaving saying, well, these guys, they're not into details around here because this wasn't a detailed day. That reflects poorly on your players that are being evaluated. And so for Ohio State, it's actually like this little bit of a weird advantage that they're going from drill to drill without any wasted motion, without any wasted time. And these guys are in their first class. They feel great about it, and they get to go away feeling like this is a professional organization where guys are going to know what our expectations are in the NFL when they come in.
Ohio State football is a professional organization. Yeah. I mean, it's as close to one of the 32 franchises as it possibly gets. And I would even argue Ohio State's run better than several
Some of them, yeah.
of those 32 NFL franchises.
And I think that's as big of a recruiting pitch as 4 guys in the top 10, 5 first-round picks, this wide receiver lineage that has happened here, because there were a lot of pro days yesterday. Didn't sound like they were attended like the one at Ohio State was. And if you're a player, whether it be through the transfer portal or high school, you want to come in here, and we talked about people being at a pro day and saying, whoa, who's that kid? Who's Chase Young?
Yep.
Or people yesterday, oh my gosh, look at Jeremiah. He's just you may not even be on the field yet, or you may not even be out there doing drills, but the people that you want to be in front of are here watching the Ohio State football program. And they're also, those people are the people now at Ohio State that are running these drills. So these people, the Arthur Smiths, the Matt Patricias,
Bingo.
the James Laurinaitis, the Tim Waltons, who all have this NFL experience, they know what NFL teams want. And they know what NFL teams are looking for. And to me, that's as big a recruiting pitch as a Jeremiah Smith or any of it.
I'm glad you mentioned that, because the more you really think about what this Ohio State looks like in terms of being a mirror of professional organizations, Arthur Smith, Matt Patricia, Ryan Day came from an NFL background. Tim Walton had coached in that league. James Laurinaitis played in that league and was very good for a very long time. And then you've got LJ out there doing the D-line drills. He's done 1 million pro days. He's done pro days forever. All those guys know and respect him as well. And so, yeah, I mean, like, everything top to bottom is first class and it's professional. And I think, to the point that we're making, the NFL people like to come in because they know it's going to be done well. And if you're a player, now you get to be around all of those guys, and that's a benefit to everybody.
Yeah, I think it's fair to say that this program is the healthiest that it's been in.
Yes.
In terms of winning on the field, producing not only quality football players, but quality humans. And then those quality humans are going and making huge strides in the NFL.
And there is no shortage of investment in terms of staff. There are always special projects going on around the Woody, and that's a building that I think a lot of people would tell you needs to be different in many ways, but they're always working to make it as good as it can be for right now. Like, yeah, I think it's in a very healthy spot, probably as healthy as anybody out there.
2 questions. Was Jim Harbaugh there?
No, I didn't see him.
Did anybody from the Los Angeles Chargers? Ohio State said all 32 teams were represented. I wonder, does he have his face on the door, like at a Walmart? Like, do not let this person in this building?
That has to be. So I'll put it like this. I'm not exactly sure that Jim Harbaugh would necessarily want to come unless there was a first-round quarterback that he would be interested in, which I don't think they're going to be for a little while. So I'm under the impression that that's probably a situation that they can avoid. But you have to let him in if he wants to come, right?
He's an NFL head coach. I would hope that the staff over there at the Woody Hayes Athletic Center is professional, and I think they are professional enough.
But it felt like
he might be.
It went beyond professional, though, I think.
Oh, it got so personal.
Would Ryan Day talk to him if he was there?
So that's what I'm thinking. Probably not. He might send a lieutenant over there.
It might be a frosty handshake. I think Ryan's the kind of guy who wouldn't just ignore him, but I don't think he's spending as much time with him as he did with his brother yesterday.
There's no love lost there.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to think, like, the other guys on Harbaugh's staff during that whole Spygate thing, their head coaches in the NFL.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, they got some branches out there.
So, it's kind of fascinating from that standpoint of there's animus, there's clear animus, but also he is one of 32 that has so much power.
I mean, they're helping each other at this point now too, right? Like it's a weird the
symbiotic relationship,
turning of the page that would occur in this situation.
For Ryan Day, you talked about how big of just a recruiting tool it is for Ohio State. Here's Day's thoughts on the younger guys and them getting a chance to participate in pro days before they're eligible for the NFL draft.
It's always been good. We started that back a few years ago, and we try to turn the music up because once the music goes down, you can see how awkward it gets. Yeah. So we try to make it loose and let those guys have some fun and smile a little bit. That's what we try to tell them: smile a little bit, enjoy it. This is an opportunity that it doesn't come very often. So for young guys like Julian and Brandon and some of those guys to get out here was great. But it's more about Carnell and Max and those guys. It's their day, but they're here to support them and make sure they have what they need.
I mean, how much from how you present yourself standpoint are these guys, the younger guys, coached up going into something like this?
I mean, I think it's put your best foot forward. Like, don't embarrass the program, right? Like, we're giving you an opportunity to come out and show off just a little bit. And frankly, I don't think there's a lot of conversation with the guys who did work out as underclassmen, because Ohio State's recruited great guys over the last handful of years anyway, but these are also some of your top guys that you're depending on, some of your best leaders. So I don't think you really have to coach them up. To go back real quick, I did learn something about some of the players. So you throw in these extra guys when it's just Carnell running routes, right? And then it was Julian throwing, and there was this idea of, well, we're in the middle of spring ball. We don't want to blow Julian's arm out either with this big script of passes, so they bring in Tavian. But it was really supposed to be a Tavian, you take some of the throws to the tight ends and the running backs, and we'll let Julian and Carnell do their thing because they played together extensively. And then it became a little bit of, and this wasn't like a we want to show Tavian off thing, but it was more of a switching off of reps thing. So even all that stuff happens on the fly, and those guys are adjusting. And if you're somebody like me, you know, these coaches, a lot of them have scripts and they know what the progression's supposed to be like for the offensive workout. You kind of look at that stuff and say, wow, you know, these guys can handle the adaptation too of, like, I'm just going to throw you in. You're going to do these routes. Maybe you're throwing to a different guy than what you trained for, and they all looked pretty good doing it.
I even saw Tavian just doing handoffs to C.J. Donaldson.
Yeah.
Like, it's just the little simple things, but still getting all of those guys out there. Interested to hear Ryan Day's thoughts on how they decide which players to have participate that still have collegiate eligibility. Hear from Ohio State's head coach. And then Louis Riddick didn't have to do them like that. We'll get to all that next. Bishop and Friends on the Fan.
We have so many local shows, I can't fit them in a 10-second promo. So let's just say we're live and local all damn day. The Fan.
Common Man here for Jermaine. Everybody's talking about affordability when buying a car these days, but the truth is, GoJermaine.com has a great selection of affordable inventory. Maybe that tax return's going to hit your mailbox pretty soon. Well, go see my friends because they have 300 new cars under 30 grand, over 300 used cars under 20 grand, and it's only at GoJermaine.com. And along with their $1,000 price promise, no one's going to sell you a car for less. Get started at GoJermaine.com.
At Babs R Us, we believe home improvement is life improvement. As the Midwest's fastest growing 5-star bathroom remodeler, we're more than just transformations. We're a community driven by a mission to bring your dreams to life. Our installation team, part of the Babs R Us community, isn't just skilled. They're dedicated to respecting your home. Each day, they bring craftsmanship and hustle, turning your dream space, no matter the size, into reality. Together, we embrace a culture that values diversity, collaboration, and giving back. From supporting local projects to fostering a workplace where every voice is valued. Babs R Us is more than a company. It's a community of experts. We're also expanding locations to create more possibilities for homeowners across the Midwest. Wherever you are, you'll find us ready to turn your dreams into something you can see, feel, and enjoy every day. Right now, get $1,500 off a shower or tub replacement or $3,000 off a full bathroom remodel. Plus, low to no monthly payments. Call 380-225-BAB to schedule your free estimate or go to babsrus.com. Babs R Us, where dreams soak in.
Confused as to what to do after an accident? Or perhaps your insurance company is making the repair process difficult to navigate? Call us at Capital Ford Collision Center, where we fix all makes and models. We will work with your insurance company so you don't have to. Visit CapitalFordColumbus.com today.
It's never a bad time to fire up the grill. At Billiards Plus, the grilling season never ends. While you're grill shopping, you'll love browsing Central Ohio's largest selection of pool tables, game furniture, and shuffleboard. Family owned and operated. Billiards Plus on Dublin Center Drive in Dublin.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. If you've been injured in a car accident, call America's largest injury law firm. For over 35 years, my mission has been to deliver more for our clients, to deliver more for you. If you or anyone in your family has been injured in a car accident, call us now, as the time to file a claim may be limited. Last year, more clients hired Morgan & Morgan than ever before, protecting America, fighting for you. Morgan & Morgan. Injured? Dial pound law.
Morgan & Morgan, Ohio office located at 600 Vine Street, Cincinnati. Prior results do not guarantee a similar outcome.
The Jackets hit the road for a battle with the Canadians. Live fan coverage starts Thursday night at 6:30.
Sponsored by Atlas Butler Heating and Cooling.
Proud to be your flagship home of the Columbus Blue Jackets. The Fan.
Spring is hatching at the Columbus Zoo and Aquarium. Join us April 3rd and 4th for Eggs, Paws, and Claws presented by Kroger. Hop on over for 2 days of extra special fun with photos with the Easter Bunny. Meet Egbert and roll into Shelley's Rolling Shellebration. Clues are hidden all around the zoo for explore and find, so bring your sense of adventure. Get your discounted tickets at Kroger and don't miss this extreme spring celebration at the Columbus Zoo.
Hey, it's Anthony, and I've got my own good feet story. I fought plantar fasciitis for a while. That's that horrible heel pain that seems to come out of nowhere. And not being on my feet was not ever going to be an option for me. I did all the home remedies, rolling the tennis ball under my feet. And the relief never really stuck until I went to the Good Feet store, where I was personally fitted with Good Feet arch supports based on my feet and arch size and the goals I have for my lifestyle. As soon as I popped them in my shoes, I could feel the difference. And now every day, my feet feel good. My knees, my hips, my back, they all feel supported and so much better aligned. I've complained about my back back for years. But guess what? Nobody's heard me talk like that in a long time. These are a game changer for me every day. They're in my shoes to work out, to go to work, and soon in my golf shoes. The journey to feeling my pain go away has been nothing short of awesome, and just feeling the support I get puts me in a great mood. So stop in either at their store in Grove City or on Polaris Parkway in Westerville, or get started right now at goodfeet.com.
All your favorite fan shows are available when you want them.
Head to 971thefan.com and hit that subscribe button.
The Fan, Ohio sports destination. Find us on YouTube. Search WBNS Radio and you can see what Bo looks like. But only if you subscribe. This is Bishop and Friends.
Yes, it is. Today and tomorrow you can see what myself and Joshua Perry look like. Similarly with Ryan Baker. Bo's back next week from spring break. I wonder how much of the baseball he's going to take in over the next couple of days. Happy opening day to all those who celebrate, except for the Giants and the Yankees. They had their nonsense yesterday.
Are you going to get a Coney Skyline?
Are they doing that, the free, like you buy a drink, you get a Coney?
Yeah.
I'm going to pass.
You're going to pass?
Yeah.
Bake? You getting a Coney?
I'm not the biggest Coney guy. I will do a dog.
Okay.
Are you getting a Coney?
Yeah, hell yeah.
Today?
I might get 5.
Okie dokie.
I mean...
Okay, now this goes back into our conversation last night on our little show.
I was gonna hold on to that until 10.
Okay,
we'll circle back then.
We'll open the mailbag at 10 o'clock, and we'll also ask the question: how many hot dogs is too many hot dogs?
All right.
To your Coney comment just now. But baseball season is back. The Fan family of stations is your home for the Reds. Today's opening day. Reds host the Red Sox. Coverage at 3:40. First pitch at 4:10. And you can listen on the Fan too. That's 1460 on the AM dial or 97.1 FM HD2 if you have an HD radio. And a reminder: MLB rules prevent streaming, so to be sure to tune in on your radio. Also, the Reds and Guardians are available on MLB TV. I think it's like $100 a season. Guardians.tv is where I'm going to go. And so, yeah, I've already submitted my $100 to Major League Baseball. Last year, or the first year for the Guardians, it didn't work because they gave a free day, opening day, and the Guardians stream was not working for a good hour.
Probably weren't ready for that many people, I'm guessing, which is crazy.
How are you not ready on opening day?
Yeah.
It's like Walmart not being ready on Black Friday. Let's go. Come on.
You mentioned having to listen to the Reds on the real radio, and I'll tell you what, if you have an HD radio or it's HD in your car, that is wonderful listening to 1460 because it comes in crystal clear, just like the Fan does. No old school, like, if I go under a bridge, I'm going to lose reception, or if the trees are too high, it's going to block my AM signal. It is awesome that the HD2 is there if you can use that option on your radio.
So yesterday's pro day for Ohio State had every NFL team in attendance, and they were also likely have sent out scouts to Alabama's pro day, Arizona's pro day, Nebraska, Texas A&M, UCF, and Wake Forest were all working out yesterday. This was from Courtney Cronin, who covers the Chicago Bears for ESPN. She had a video of Alabama's Ty Simpson doing workouts and mentioning that Bears general manager Ryan Poles was in Tuscaloosa for the Tide Pro Day. And Sleeper NFL was the account I got this from, was Ryan Poles the only GM at Ty Simpson's Pro Day. Other teams have different personnel in attendance. And here comes Louis Riddick from ESPN from the top rope because they were all here with a picture of Ohio State's national championship banners at the Woody Hayes Athletic Center. Louis, you didn't have to do him like that.
I love Louis. I think he is. He's one of the best analysts on TV, and he wasn't telling lies.
No.
Now, did he come in maybe a little bit hot?
I like the spice.
Maybe a little bit hot, but the people knew where they needed to go. Columbus was the place to be.
Did you got a chance to talk with Louis?
I did. It's funny being, kind of the TV side of things and watching people. And I feel like I'm still a young guy, even though I'm starting to get a little bit older. But like I get to see people that I've watched for years on television that I respect a ton. And I always take the opportunity to tell those people that I love their work and that I respect what they do. So it's always good to catch up. He was great, very gracious, had some good advice as well. But, when you see him at the pro day, you know that it's the real deal pro day.
And, I think he was talking to Carnell and to Caleb Downs, and then they had a couple guys, that they were interviewing for ESPN. And this is where I really started to see some of the nonsense yesterday about single images or single videos showing either Carnell Tate or showing Arvell Reese. You can't really get anything from one picture, from one video. And if you're an NFL team and you use that at all in your draft evaluation, you should not have a job in the league. But from Lewis, quote, if you were in Columbus today in person watching Arvell Reese work out and didn't come away thinking that this is a premium level athlete with unlimited upside, you should quit talking about athletes forever. Don't even bother watching his tape, actually playing the game in pads. You'll never get it, ever. Then he's right.
It's one of those things where we're getting to that point where you kind of run out of things to talk about with some of the prospects.
Yes.
And so then you start turning the page to, well, Arvell is still developing as a football player.
He is.
And he's a little bit positionless where he could play off-ball linebacker, but the most upside might be with him at the edge. And I wouldn't want to draft a guy where I'm not exactly sure how I would use them, even though we saw Micah Parsons come into the league playing off-ball linebacker, and he moved up to the edge, and things look like they're going well for him. That's neither here nor there. People have to start getting into these discussions about, well, I'm not sure about this and I'm not sure about that, whereas the tape is 100% sure that he's an ass kicker.
I would take it a step further with what Louis Riddick said. And we talked about yesterday, some of the stuff I do, I get to see some of these guys. And seeing Arvell Reese as a high schooler, it was like, wow, this guy's got the athletic ability. Now, there are a ton of factors of whether you make it in college or not. But you knew that guy was a pro-level athlete even back then. There was just something different.
He is different.
The thing, that I think Lewis is mentioning was with Arvell Reese and some of the comments that you had made, Joshua, just about how he's still a very unfinished product. There's still a lot. I think most NFL talent evaluators look at him and say, how would he fit my scheme?
Mm-hmm.
And I think that having that kind of potential of I can play this guy anywhere does a lot for him, does a lot for Sonny Styles, does a lot for Caleb Downs. And the comparisons from a pass rushing standpoint are a lot of them yesterday were to Ruben Bain.
Sure.
And Miami had their pro day on Monday. And the thing about Bain coming out of the NFL scouting combine was his arms are too short, which again is nonsense because turn on the tape. He's an absolute game wrecker.
So I'll push back just a little bit. I think that there are a lot of numbers that I'm willing to throw out. I think for NFL organizations, there are some numbers that they just won't.
Mm-hmm.
And arm length for a guy on the edge is one that is a complete cannot draft. Like I don't know this to be a fact, but I would think that there were some teams that might have pulled him off the draft board
because of
the
arm.
First round.
Okay.
Because of the arm length. There've only been since 99, I think, two guys who measured in at the combine with shorter arms at the edge position than Ruben Bain. And so that's one where I tend to like to rely on tape.
Yeah.
But I know NFL franchises are very concerned with some specific measurements. And for an edge, like this is one that was disqualifying, I'm sure, to a couple of teams.
Right now, I see him going 8th overall to the Miami Dolphins. So at their pro day earlier this week, he was talking with Cameron Wolf of the NFL Network, and Bain said, quote, like Mike Tyson, he wasn't the tallest guy, he wasn't the longest limbed guy, but when you felt him. You kept your distance.
Yeah.
End quote. You're putting that out there.
Now we're Mike Tyson.
A little bit it goes to the theme of it's silly season.
Yes.
And so that's not if I were Mario Cristobal or someone within the Hurricanes program, I may be coaching him away from something.
I don't know if I would. I mean, at this point, listen, athletes have to be.
He's got supreme confidence in himself.
You have to.
Yeah.
And especially when people are starting to doubt you and you feel like you're that guy, I think it's appropriate to make statements like this. Now, I don't think he's Mike Tyson, but I do think he's a really good player. I would say the other thing, too, if I were him, one of the things that I would put out there is the two guys that I would rush against in practice are two guys that you really like. We had a 6'9" tree that was playing left tackle that I had a bunch of reps against. And then the other guy you've got mocked in Francis Mauineau, you've got mocked in the first round that I had to rush against as well. So not only do I have the production on tape, but in training, you love to say iron sharpens iron. Like we were getting after it in practice too.
Your stat is interesting there about the edge rushers and the length of arms and whatnot. Now, he didn't invoke Mike Tyson, But Will Campbell last year, there was a lot of talk about his arm length, and he was very vocal about it as well. And there might have been some warts in Will Campbell's game this year, and there are talks, should he move inside to guard rather than tackle, which would have a little bit to do with your arm length there at the tackle position. But Will Campbell had a pretty good first year in the NFL.
Yeah, I would say people point to some of the clips of him in the Super Bowl getting abused, and I would say they didn't turn the page and really help him, which was a shame. But it was probably because he was a little light in the ass, too. I don't think it was necessarily because his arms were too short.
And then to your point about Reuben Bain, so the one mock draft I'm seeing has David Bailey mocked one pick before, number 7 overall to the Washington Commanders, a little bit better in physicals, a little bit better in the stats. He's got 3 passes defended on the season. Bain had 1 interception last season, which again shows his freak athleticism. But I think to the measurables, they look, all right, we're at 7, we need an edge. Who fits our mold a little bit better? They would say the edge out of Texas Tech.
Yeah, and I would say, like, I think of Bain and I think of David Bailey as different players as well. One, I think Bain is more of your hand in the dirt 4-3 defensive end, and Bailey's a little bit more of a stand-up 3-4 edge.
So the Red Raiders are going to command a lot of eyeballs today as they've got their pro day down in Lubbock. We'll open the mailbag and get a little bit more into pro day and how many hot dogs is too many hot dogs. That's next. Bishop and Friends on the Fan.
If you haven't thought about Buckeye football today, I'm sorry to tell you that you're dead. Our condolences. Your home of the Buckeyes, the Fan.
Pepsi Prebiotic Cola in original and cherry vanilla. That Pepsi taste you love with no artificial sweeteners, only 30 calories, just 5 grams of sugar, and 3 grams of prebiotic fiber. That great Pepsi taste with even more to love. Pepsi Prebiotic Cola. Unbelievably Pepsi.
Aetna has been my lifesaver. Easy to understand, and if not, customer service is always there to help.
Those words from a real Aetna Medicare Advantage member speak to why U.S. News & World Report named us a best Medicare Advantage company. Because we show up with care management that ensures doctors work together on complicated conditions. We show up with the latest in online tools to make healthcare easier to use anytime. We show up for you, because that's how healthier happens together. Member feedback has been edited for length and clarity.
Hey folks, it's Austin Ward here. They say imitation is the sincerest form of flattery, so I'd like to thank Berm for seeing me lose 50 pounds with Awaken 180 and deciding to copy off my paper. It's no secret, the program works. Awaken180weightloss.com.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up, and I've already made around $300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code SPEED to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code SPEED for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code SPEED for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
Forget the pot of gold. Save some green at Coghlan Ford. During Ford Truck Month, take over $13,000 off MSRP, plus no payments until June on select new F-150s. New Bronco Sport or Ranger. Lease for $399 a month for 48 months. Visit CoghlanFord.com.
Coghlan has the car for you.
Factory rebates to dealer. 90-day deferred payments. Not all buyers will qualify. Bronco $399 down. Ranger $2,000 down. 7,500 miles per year. 25 cents per mile over. Excludes $250 dock fee. $395 disposition fee at lease end. No security deposit. Ends 3/31/26.
With all that can go wrong in your home, it's enough to make you say, "Oh, brother." With Brothers Roofing and Construction, one call covers it all. Roofing, siding, rotting decks, bad chimneys. We take care of it all. And we do it right the first time.
Get Eco.
ECO.
Aaron?
Yeah, Jerry?
Something is wrong.
Something's wrong?
Yeah, it's definitely something.
Get Eco.
ECO.
Thumping and bumping and jumping.
What is?
But it's not pumping.
Get Eco.
ECO. Jerry?
Yeah, Aaron.
Are we talking about your sump pump?
Yeah. Isn't it great?
Isn't what great?
I like the sound of it. Sump pump.
Sump pump, sump pump, sump pump.
Get Eco.
ECO. Jerry, can you keep a secret?
Aaron, I'm as silent as a bank vault in Switzerland.
I kind of like to say it too.
Hey, I should invent a sump pump that lets you know when it's working.
How would it do that?
It would say, sump pump, sump pump, sump pump.
That's a great idea, Jerry, but a sump pump should be exactly like you.
How so?
As silent as a bank vault in Switzerland.
Get Eco.
ECO. Eco plumbers, electricians, and HVAC technicians.
GetEco.com.
Raise your hand if you're excited about feeling older faster than you should. No takers? Yeah, I didn't think so. Ongoing pain makes you feel older than you are, but here's the good news. QC Kinetics patients right here in Columbus, they're getting relief right now, feeling younger and jumping back into life full speed ahead, and that didn't happen in an operating room. My friend Dr. Ray Tesner and his team use the latest regenerative treatments backed by real science, treatments that take the tiny, powerful healing tools inside your body, concentrate them right where you need the relief the most. This is how I was treated. I had a knee issue. I went in there. We had a consultation. I went through a series of treatments. And you know what? After a handful of months, my knee started feeling better and better until I was able to get out there and do the things I loved again. It's all true. It's all real. The sooner you get started, the sooner your inflammation eases and the sooner you'll start feeling better again. So find out if you're a candidate at your free consultation at qckinetics.com/Columbus or 380-208-4544.
Broadcasting live from the McDaniel GM Superstore Studios, driving excellence since 1916. Chevrolet. Together, let's drive. WBNS HD1 Columbus.
Good morning. I'm Arvell Reese. The Blue Jackets wrap up a 3-game road trip tonight in Montreal. CBJ will skate against the Canadiens at 7. Hear it on the Fan with coverage at 6:30. Columbus has 87 points on the season. That's good for second in the Metro. Jackets are back at Nationwide for a back-to-back Saturday hosting the Sharks, Sunday against the Bruins. In baseball, it's opening day for the Reds and Guardians at 4:10 today. Cincinnati hosts the Boston Red Sox. Hear that one over on the Fan, too. That's 1460 on the AM dial. Tonight at 10:10, Cleveland opens the season in Seattle against the Mariners. One of the Guardians' top prospects, Travis Bazzana, will start the season in Columbus. The Clippers begin their season Friday in Iowa. Then they'll host Indianapolis next Tuesday for the home opener at Huntington Park. In college hoops, the Sweet 16 begins tonight in San Diego. Purdue battles Texas at 7:10 in a West Regional semifinal. This update is sponsored by Logan AC Heat and Plumbing Services, the home of fast, friendly services. Logan Services, proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
Connect with the show on X at 971BFS. Jump in our YouTube chat or just send a raven. You're listening to Bishop and Friends.
Let's play ball. It's game day. There's actually a lot of ball going on today, Joshua Perry.
Yeah.
We've got, right now, Ohio State spring practice number 4. More ball at the Woody Hayes Athletic Center. Starting at 1:15 on Peacock. We love Peacock. We love NBC.
Thank you.
You have the Pirates and the Mets for game 1 of 162 for those two teams. Then you've got the Sweet 16 tonight starting at 7:10, as you heard in the update out in San Diego. Reds at 4:10 over on the Fan 2, 1460 on the AM dial. Guardians Mariners at 10:10.
Jeez.
I love this time of the year.
Stacked.
You had pro day yesterday. You're drinking through a fire hose all week. The NFL's going to kick in the door. We've got some stuff about the NFL and maybe what the Browns could do with Myles Garrett sometime this fall. Coming up at 10:17.
Did you mention jackets and all of that? We've got jackets tonight.
Well, I meant ball. I was going to get to puck. A lot of puck.
Yeah, we got pucks
to get to. I think 11 games remain for the CBJ. You heard they got a back-to-back this weekend against the Bruins, who got a point last night. But you're not worried about the Bruins because you're second in the Metropolitan Division.
Amazing.
Like, it's what's so awesome about this. You don't have to worry about the wild card. And again, with Jody Shelley coming on at 11:30, I'm still, and I'm going to give him a ton of credit because he deserves this, saying at the beginning of the season for the CBJ, second in the Metro, wild to think about. And then wild to think how the Blue Jackets kind of got to where they are with not Dean Evison, Rick Bowness.
Yeah, it feels like the path might be the crazier part than the prediction itself at this point.
The crazy thing on social media I've been seeing, because baseball starts, and you had the Giants and the Yankees yesterday with New York getting a 7-0 win and Aaron Judge going 0 for 5 from the plate with 4 strikeouts.
I mean,
is fans at Oracle Park could, for like $55, buy 9 hot dogs and 9 glasses and a tall boy at the beginning of the game to do the 999 challenge. Have you heard of this?
I have heard of it.
Could you do 9 hot dogs? Let's just start at base. Could you do 9 hot dogs in a 9-inning baseball game?
Okay, so unfortunately, I think I could.
Same.
I'd love hot dogs. Like all summer long, really. I'm trying to find a way to insert a hot dog into the meal plan. So, yeah, I think the 9 hot dogs would be the easy part for me.
Yeah, I think the 9 hot dogs I could do. I don't know if I could do the
9
beers anymore. There was a time in my life where we could do the 9 beers easily. I don't know if we could do that now.
So the Giants are one of, I think, 8 baseball teams. I think the Royals are also doing it. The Mets are also doing it, where you buy the 9 hot dogs in a box. It comes with 9 small glasses, 3 to 4 ounces, and then they give you a tall boy.
Does it count with the tall boy, though?
It's a good question.
Like, I think I could do 9 in a tall boy.
So what are they doing? Are they pouring them into the 3 to 4 ounce glasses from the one beer? Now, that's a little different.
I could do that one, I think.
Yes, for sure.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to, because that beer is going to be really warm once you get to the 9th inning. Once you get to the 5th inning, the 6th inning.
Yeah. It's
what
tough.
if they give you a little glass of ice and you could keep the beer can in the ice and then pour it in?
It's a vet move. You probably got to ask for it, but I bet you could get it.
Probably do that.
They were saying 9 beers and 9 full-size hot dogs separately would be more than $180 with tax and tips. You're paying almost $220.
So when we were talking about all this, it had me thinking of old school dime a dog stories. And one great job by the Clippers of prices going up everywhere to continue to do dime a dog nights.
Next Tuesday,
every
baby.
Tuesday.
Yep.
It used to be Mondays. Now it's every Tuesday. Congratulations to them for continuing to do that, because they could probably even up it to dollar dog night. And don't get any ideas, but they would still
you'd still
be
feel good
okay.
about it. Yeah.
But they continue to sell those hot dogs for a dime. It also tells you how cheap hot dogs are, probably.
Whoa, listen, that ain't the point.
This is a pro hot dog show.
So one time, it was back in the, I want to say I was in high school or just out of high school at Cooper Stadium. We went to a dime a dog night, and I was like, all right, I'm going to see how many dogs I can do tonight. So I went at a pretty good pace. I went 3 dogs an inning for the first 5 innings. So we got through 5 innings, and I had downed 15 hot dogs, and I was done. Like, I was starting to feel a little sick at that point. Like, we can't do this anymore. So I tapped out at that point, but I thought 15 in 5 innings was a pretty good pace.
It's a hell of a pace. A lot of sodium.
Wow.
How you feeling the next day?
I don't think I felt very well the next day.
I was about to say. We've got another combatant in the Ty Simpson-Fernando Mendoza fight. We'll have Paul Finebaum coming up at 10:30. Real quick, let's open the mailbag.
Our comment box is always open. Any feedback is mostly appreciated.
The mail never stops. It just keeps coming and coming and coming. There's never a let-up. It's relentless. Every day it piles up more and more and more. And you got to get it up. And the more you get out, the more it keeps coming in. Again.
Bishop and Friends present emails.
We open the mailbag Thursdays at this time. I can't tell you where to send the emails, but at 971thefan.com, you can learn about a fun trip that you have to pay for. You can also get the email for Bishop and Friends. And you can send them at any time. It's wonderful. Like Michael, who sent this a couple of days ago. But again, we do the mailbag Thursday, so I can go back to it and see what Michael sent to us. He starts, "Hey, BFS, I love the show and have been a loyal listener for some time. Also, I'm an American Airlines pilot, so feel free to abuse me with any questions you have regarding trips, air travel in general," which we might take you up on. "Outside of my dad driving me to West Lafayette twice a year during my childhood, I don't follow a ton of college basketball, but I live in Philly now. And never having been to a tournament game, it was easy to check that off. With a great atmosphere, what friendly visitors, everyone seemed enchanted, likely never having been to Philly. If the NCAA comes to your town, watch the game. Regardless of the teams, what a great time." He says, "I'm generally rooting for Ohio teams in my Ohio shirt. So far, Buckeyes, Zips, and Raiders. They were eliminated." He said he had 9 minutes left to go in the first half between the Redhawks and the Tennessee Volunteers. It did not go well, but thank you, Michael, for sending that, and I will echo that sentiment. If the NCAA tournament is in your town anywhere, or if you can drive to an NCAA tournament game, doesn't really matter if you have rooting interest. It makes it that much better if you do, but you should go.
Have you been?
Yes.
I've never been.
In 2012, some friends, we followed Ohio to St. Louis for their Sweet 16 game against North Carolina. And that's one of my favorite sporting moments of all time. Not only the trip, but the game itself, the return trip. And that's 8 hours maybe is the drive there. So doable for most.
I don't like that.
No, it's
okay.
St. Louis is 5.5, 6.
Okay.
A little closer.
I could do that.
So maybe easier.
Yeah.
Big difference between 8, 6, and 5, but it was a while ago.
So I will say this, as somebody who just did the first 4 in Dayton.
Yeah.
I think everybody in Columbus, that's an easy drive. I think everybody should go do the first 4.
All right.
Once. And I mean, the same thing. If games are going to be here nationwide, or if you want to make a drive to Indianapolis or Detroit, they host a lot, Pittsburgh. Yeah, do it. The atmosphere's worth it.
I'm going to take you up on something you suggested to get into a Blue Jackets game, but I'm just going to start applying for press passes to go to all these things.
Be perfect. Now, the first 4, I applied too late for mine, so outside media members were already shut off. So luckily, I found a pretty decent price ticket and went. But yeah,
even when you're talking about the first 4 or the opening round of the tournament, like I think a couple of years ago, Purdue was a 1 seed in the region, and they were playing in Columbus. And so we went to I forget the game which was before that Purdue game, but you had just all different fans of all those different teams, and then you had Columbus residents because love watching college basketball, and it's a hell of a time.
And then Purdue.
So was that the year? Okay,
right. That was
if
here
I can
in
remember
Columbus
correctly.
When they were the one, and
yeah. So there's a chance you might get to see some history, like with what happened in Purdue.
Exciting.
Great friend of the program, Snagglepuss, has an email about the state championships of Ohio. So now with the creation of non-conference tournaments in college basketball, it's like the Players Era Classic they're trying to do out in Las Vegas. He has the state championship of Ohio, where he's got 13 Ohio programs that are seeded by their records last year. And so you'll do this in his ideas November, December. Like for this year, he has Akron, the 1 seed, Bowling Green 2, and just ranks
Is this
them.
for basketball?
This is for men's college basketball, yes. He says, in today's world of name, image, and likeness, the creation of the tournament will help build revenue for athletic departments. The inspiration of this tournament stems from recent talk of playing more in-state competition in your non-conference while combining it with a tournament feeling. We all love a good bracket.
I could get down with that. I think it would be really difficult to convince, say, an Ohio State to want to do that and potentially not be the flagship, but I would love watching that for sure.
Listen, I will take just an Ohio State, Xavier, Cincinnati, Dayton little round robin every year. I think that would be awesome.
Yeah, we should get more of the in-state matchups for sure. And I think for us it's great, but for the mid-majors, smaller teams too, like they benefit a lot from playing those games.
Yeah, absolutely a proponent for Ohio State being intentional about the Ohio programs, the Ohio mid-majors they schedule for their non-conference. Could the Cleveland Browns deal Myles Garrett before the end of the calendar year? We'll discuss that next. Bishop and Friends on The Fan.
If you consider yourself a Buckeye fan, you've come to the right place. This is your heritage sports talker and home of Ohio State athletics, The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
It's time for a Sweet 16 update. The men's bracket ramps back up today with South and West regional matchups from Houston and San Jose. The 9-seeded Iowa Hawkeyes, who knocked off Florida, takes on Nebraska. And the West 11-seed Texas hopes to continue its tournament run with a win over Purdue. Plus, Houston against Illinois and Arizona versus Arkansas. Stay tuned for Westwood One's exclusive coverage of the NCAA tournament right here.
Check engine, ABS, or maintenance light on? Take the guesswork out of your warning lights with O'Reilly Veriscan. The service is free and provides a report with solutions verified by ASE certified master technicians. And if you need help, we could recommend a shop for you. Ask for O'Reilly Veriscan today.
O'Reilly Auto Parts. I have a buddy who's going to be popping the question soon. He's planning everything out. He asked me, can you help me out with the ring? I said, of course I can. I've got a guy, Bob Capace from Worthington Jewelers. Now you talk, Bob.
Hi, I'm Bob Capace. I'm your guy.
Go in, see my friends at Worthington Jewelers, tell them I sent you, and you'll get the true VIP experience.
I'll treat them better than I treat you.
That's not hard. Worthington Jewelers on High Street in Worthington, worthingtonjewelers.com, where Columbus gets engaged. And tell them Common Man sent you.
The new Omaha Steak Store is now open at 1033 Polaris Parkway at Polaris Commons. Stop in today and save 50% store-wide on legendary steaks, burgers, and more. Plus, get doorbuster deals starting at just $19 $3.99. Discover the Omaha Steaks difference today at the new store at Polaris Commons in Columbus.
I'm Leslie from Pella Columbus.
And I'm Wilson from that other window place.
Wilson, it's important to us that when you call Pella Columbus, you talk to a real person.
You should hear how smooth it is when you call us.
You calling right now?
Yep. Oh, here we go. New windows. No. New window. Operator.
Get the windows that homeowners rated the leading window brand in Columbus at PellaColumbus.com.
Spring is hatching at the Columbus Zoo. Join us April 3rd and 4th for Eggs, Paws, and Claws. Snap a pic with the Easter Bunny, meet Egbert, roll into Shelley's Celebration, and crack the clues in the Explore and Find. It's 2 extra fun days you won't want to miss. Get your discounted tickets at Kroger.
Matty guys here looking for a stylish, affordable SUV for the family. Check out the 26 Chevy Trax at McDaniel GM Superstore in Marion. This month, lease a brand new Trax for just $265 a month for 24 months with $3,139 due at signing, or finance for $295 a month with $1,000 down for qualified buyers. Terms and conditions apply. See dealer for details. The McDaniel GM Superstore has been family owned for over 100 years. They're just off Route 23095 in Marion, or you can visit McDanielGMSuperstore.com. Chevrolet, together, let's drive.
Catch all the buzzer beaters, upsets, bracket busters, and more at the Sportsbook at Hollywood Casino Columbus. It's the greatest month of the year.
Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-589-9966.
This is Pause Before You Play, and it's time for more game day picks from local sports fans. You're on the air. Who you got?
Actually, I'm not betting, just chilling and watching the game.
I know that move. A pause. Sounds like you've got a winning strategy.
Exactly. After I set limits and recognized the risk, I knew it was time to stop.
Now that is responsible betting, folks. Sports are fast. Betting shouldn't be. Make a plan at pausebeforeyouplay.org. That's pausebeforeyouplay.org.
And now, Public Education Matters with Ohio Education Association President Jeff Wensing.
Hunger is a real problem for too many Ohio students and their families. Sadly, a lot of educators face food insecurity in our state too. Education support professionals like bus drivers, custodians, and others often work full-time in our schools and still struggle to make ends meet. We must come together to make sure all Ohioans have what they need.
Public Education Matters, brought to you by the Ohio Education Association.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Partly sunny to mostly cloudy skies today. Very breezy and warm as highs soar in the mid to upper 70s to even the low 80s. And then for tonight after 7 p.m., chances of showers and storms, some which could be strong to severe with heavy downpours, so make sure you have ways to get warnings. For Friday, chances of rain linger in the early morning, turning mostly cloudy and much colder with highs in the mid to upper 40s. For The Fan, I'm meteorologist Meredith Garfalo with the 10 Weather Impact Forecast.
The 2 most mature people working at the radio station. And that's just because they wear pants.
The pervert and the skivvies.
Rockman and Ice.
Weekdays at noon.
The Fan. Our top men are working on everything except this show.
We have top men working on it right now. Who? Top men.
You're listening to Bishop and Friends.
Yes, you are. Bishop and Friends, proudly sponsored by Diamond Seller, your true jeweler for almost 80 years. The pride of Olentangy, Joshua Perry, in with us, Eric Reeser, Ryan Baker. In about 12 minutes, we'll have Paul Finebomb on the program. I'll figure out where he was. Maybe he was one of several at Ty Simpson's pro day yesterday.
Could have been.
Look, I think if you're talking about quarterbacks, and certainly people have been over the past couple of days, especially the quarterback from Alabama and the quarterback from Indiana, you're going to hear his name called. And so if you're an NFL trying to do due diligence on a quarterback, it would behoove you to have somebody there to watch him.
I'm sure there were some somebodies there, just maybe not the somebody's Ty may have wanted to be there.
Probably not, because best player available, located in Columbus.
Yep.
So that's where the eyes of the NFL were. So we'll get Paul's thoughts on everything that happened in college football this week, things that are going to continue to happen this month. But in the NFL yesterday, the Cleveland Browns and Myles Garrett have agreed to modified language on Garrett's contract. This became official Tuesday, but it was reported yesterday. Garrett's contract previously called for his option bonuses in 26, 27, and 28 to be exercised by the 15th day of the league year. That was in the contract, the big money deal that he signed, where a lot of Browns fans were like, why? Does he want to be here? Or do you just give him enough money where he's like, yeah, fine, I'll sign on the line as dotted. But the amended terms say that date has been pushed back to 7 days before the regular season starts. So it looks like you're going from April to September.
Sure.
On that, when you've got to pay the option bonuses. Payment of the option bonuses is also modified in a way that has benefit to Miles and also benefit to the Browns.
Yeah, I think it's more of a benefit to the Browns than it is to Miles in the grand scheme of things. This is a more common way I've read that teams are starting to do these deals. So I don't think that it's crazy for the Browns to say, like, well, we want to be able to have this structure of the contract. But it brings up the question about why and what does it mean? Are you going to trade Myles Garrett? Doesn't feel like anything would be imminent, but also if this is a team where you look up and they're still bad, it gives them a bigger trade window to be able to get something done. So I think it's smart accounting from the front office people.
Yeah.
I don't know what it means right now, though.
Additionally, Garrett had $8 million of his base salary and 29 and 30 moved into roster bonuses early in the league year. So, and what the Browns have been really good at is cap gymnastics. They've had to do a bunch of it for Deshaun Watson. They've done some for Myles Garrett. It clears them up cap space in the immediate because there's still some things that the Browns need to figure out with their roster going into 2026. But I also wonder, as I've been wondering, why Myles Garrett's still on this roster. Because for me, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense. He's the best defensive player that Cleveland's ever had.
Sure.
He's on their Mount Rushmore for me of Cleveland Browns football players. But you're not winning anything with him.
It brings up an interesting conversation. And I know this is probably not where this was going to go. When we talk about value and contracts, quarterbacks and then edge rushers get paid a lot of money. We talk about the NFL draft. Quarterbacks and edge rushers are the guys that people are taking. I would make the argument that edge rushers are overvalued. You can't draw a direct line between the best edge rusher and winning a Super Bowl, but you can draw a direct line between the best quarterback and your ability to compete for a Super Bowl championship. So it's an interesting thing to me. I think you want to have the best players that you can around, and you feel like it solidifies your defense, which has been the strong suit of that team for a very long time. So I understand all of that. But there might also be a point where you have to say realistically, what can we get back in return for this guy so we can continue to build up the roster if the team is still what they have been, which is up and down and not a lot of up.
Before the nefarious Ravens scheme included Trey Hendrickson, and where you saw the statement from the Raiders that said they've backed out of the deal, I instantly thought to myself, could Andrew Berry get on the phone with the Ravens and say, is that deal still available? We'll give you Myles Garrett. And I thought that, for me, that would be the best case scenario. But now I think to the restructuring and the new language in Myles Garrett's agreement as coming up on the trade deadline this season, the Browns aren't going to be contenders.
Right.
Trade him to a contender that would be desperate for that kind of edge help that has also been a little bit aided by the language and the movement of some financials for Garrett yesterday.
It's interesting, JP, that you said what you said, because Tyvis said the same thing not long ago. He said he would invest in the defensive tackle position, and then when you're a step away from winning the Super Bowl, that's when you go get the edge rusher. And I think of Myles Garrett. Would the Browns' record the past couple of years been any different if he wasn't on the team? No, not at all.
Nope.
So I don't think it equates to wins when you're not a team that's ready to win. But then there's also this, and we've seen this in the NFL, how quick teams can flip the script. And I don't think the Browns are going to be good in a year, but if somehow they hit on a quarterback somewhere and Todd Monken pushes a couple buttons that maybe Kevin Stefanski didn't, we've seen teams go from the number 2 pick in the draft to a team that's in the playoffs and contending. So it's very interesting. Also, would the pieces you get for Myles Garrett help you flip that script quicker?
I would want draft picks.
Yeah.
If a team's, again, this is a playoff contending team.
Well, now, I'll ask you, do you trust them with the draft picks?
That's a great question.
I don't trust him with the draft picks, but I think that's the best case scenario because if I don't know, man.
Yeah, it's one of those things where it's like
the head coach, and I'm not sure why they still kept the general manager.
That's kind of the question. There is like, if I get wanting the draft picks, I think that's where I would lean to. But also, if you're gonna screw up the draft picks, just like try to get some players back.
And here's the sad thing with that Andrew Berry, I thought, had a pretty good draft last year with Quinshawn and Fannin, and I loved the move trading back and getting another pick and getting Mason Graham. We don't have a track record, though, with Andrew Berry drafting at the top of the draft because he gave all of his draft picks away to get Deshaun Watson.
It's very true. It's very true. But I'll give you this real quick. So Myles Garrett, obviously sack leader, and then Brian Burns of the Giants, who have a new head coach. Danielle Hunter and Will Anderson are up here. And I think that matters because they were both very good. They also could not overcome C.J. Stroud by the end of the year. Aiden Hutchinson, where was Detroit? Right? Like Micah Parsons. I know he got hurt, but all these different things when it comes to edge rushers to me is like the stats look great. And it's awesome to say you've got that guy. But it might not be the key to winning. And we're paying these guys a lot of money to not be the key.
A lot of money. And they gave him cupcakes and had little dinosaur toys when he signed that to show you just how unserious of an organization that they are.
I mean, who doesn't like dinos?
Dinosaurs are fine. Can we just be professionals at some point in this?
Are you okay?
And also, why am I still a Browns? Why am I still doing this?
You have a choice. We all have free will.
I can't, though. I can't just
Why not?
glom onto another team.
I like the way that kids are. So young people nowadays, they're front runners. They have the jersey of all of the best players in each individual sport in their closet. And they pick whichever one had the best game over the weekend. They wear it to school on Monday. And I think more adults should do that because it can help protect your mental health.
I am so damaged at this point anyway.
Yeah, you can undamage yourself.
I just can't see myself being a fan of another team. I think if it were to be...
Who said you had to be a fan of anything?
So this is where I was just about to go. Because at some point last season, there was a report from someone in the Browns. Whenever this one reporter from Cleveland.com reports something, I know it's being discussed in the organization. And so when the report comes out that the Browns are thinking about opening up Deshaun Watson's 21-day window, I said on this very show, if they put out Deshaun Watson on the field before even giving Shedeur Sanders a chance, I'm done. I've never been closer to when I thought there could be a situation where Deshaun would go out there before Shedeur. And I thought the vitriol that you would create with your fan base by doing that, so just how absolutely tone deaf you are. And the idea would be, I'm not going to root for the Browns. I'm just going to root for the NFL. I'm Rob Lowe. And so I think that would probably still be the case.
I don't believe you.
QB1 this year.
I still don't believe that.
Probably. The thing with the vitriol now for Watson is I can't hold that against Todd Monken.
No, you can't.
I can hold Watson against Andrew Berry, and I will forever. But I do understand Monken comes in. These are my quarterbacks. I need to win football games. I'm going to try to win with one of these guys. It could even be Dylan Gabriel.
Here you go.
I don't know.
You're a damaged man. You are a damaged man.
I don't know.
I will say, I don't think owners or GMs should ever worry about the vitriol of the fan base as long as what you do wins. And do I think the Browns are going to win with Deshaun Watson? No, I don't. But if they did and it worked out and they won, the vitriol, there would still be a minority that would have some, I believe, in that situation. But for the most case, the vitriol would be all gone.
Winning cures all.
It's the biggest if when you add in the Cleveland Browns. We'll keep the silly quarterback conversation continuing with Paul Finebaum in 2 minutes. Bishop and Friends on the Fan.
This is Gordon Miller for Miller Lending, the original home of the no-cost mortgage. If you've been in the market for a new home or just wanted to take advantage of lower rates, recent events have shown exactly why Miller Lending chose to offer a way around bad timing with our no closing cost program. With no fees rolled in or charged, including the cost of title insurance, you can simply close on today's rates and refinance free of charge as rates improve. Over the past several months, we spoke to numerous borrowers who had heard rates were coming down and chose to wait. We explained that if rates did fall, you could simply update a few documents and refinance again, but why take the chance? So when rates spiked 0.5% recently, not only was I disappointed that we couldn't help those who waited, but also for those buying a home who just saw a sharp increase to their monthly payment. So while we can't control the market, we can offer an alternative. Eliminate timing and say goodbye to closing costs forever. 877-9-NO-COST or simply apply online at nocostmortgage.com. Miller Lending is an equal housing lender and MLS number 250-2146.
At your main Honda of Dublin, they get it. Nobody grows up dreaming of driving a minivan, but it's hard to argue with unbeatable versatility. Enter the Honda Odyssey. packed with space, comfort, and family-friendly features that make life easier. And if you want efficiency, Germain Honda has you covered with great incentives on hybrid favorites like the CRV, the Civic, and the Accord. Shop Germain Honda of Dublin on Sawmill Road just south of 270 and at GermainHondaofDublin.com.
When you saw your heating bills this winter, did you think this is out of control? The problem is your house is leaking money, and the only thing higher than your heating bills are your cooling bills. Steve here from USA Insulation. Let us fix your energy bill problem for good. If you aren't foam insulated, you really aren't insulated. For $99 a month, interest-free, we'll foam your home and help cut those energy bills. 529-2440 or USAinsulation.net.
USA Insulation.
Bishop and Friends is sponsored by Diamond Seller, your true jeweler for almost 80 years. The Fan, Ohio's sports destination. Bishop and Friends present college football's most polarizing figure.
Hey, Paul, how you doing? Come on back to our show, Tim. The audience hates you.
This is ESPN's Paul Finebaum, sponsored by the Roofing Guys. For all your roofing, siding, and gutter needs, contact the Roofing Guys at theroofingguys.com.
Catch him on the Paul Finebaum Show on the SEC Network and ESPN. Eric Reeser, Joshua Perry, Ryan Baker with you, and going out to the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems fan guest hotline to bring on our friend Paul Finebaum. Paul, good morning. Were you at Alabama's Pro Day yesterday?
I did not get to be there. I saw some of it on TV, though, and Ty Simpson looked quite good.
It's silly season when you talk about college prospects going into the NFL, and I think one of the sillier quarterback conversations has been Ty Simpson, Fernando Mendoza. Do you have a side in that fight, and just what have you made of the conversation that's been had over a couple of weeks?
Well, if I didn't work at ESPN and if I didn't appear on some of those morning shows, I would be aghast. I would not be able to understand it. But I do know how the sausage is made, guys, and I'm not taking it very seriously. I watched Ty Simpson all year, and I'll save you how well he played at times. But to me, he does not look like the best quarterback in the draft, and I would take Mendoza every single day.
So I'll ask you about one more Alabama guy before we get to some other topics here. But Caden Proctor had a lot of people buzzing after his pro day performance. I think he was a little bit inconsistent, but just from your vantage point, like what did you see out of him through covering him while he was at Alabama?
He came in with tremendous hype. It was always a little bit of a roller coaster. If you remember, I think after his second year, he left to go back to Iowa, where he originally committed, and then he changed his mind after taking the NIL money. I never thought he lived up to potential. He was good, and I think he will be good, but I completely agree with you. And he had very little help on the offensive line, and Alabama didn't have much of a running game, and I think that may have played a role in his inconsistency, but overall, he did not come off like one of the all-time offensive linemen, which is how he was promoted to be.
Paul, I see that there are more college athletics figures, administrators, ADs. They're all at the Senate right now. What is your understanding of what is going on today in their talks of trying to fix college athletics?
Well, there are a couple of things going on. There's another hearing, which we've had 8 million of those, and then there are more meetings. And I think some of this is just an aftershoot of what happened 3 weeks ago at the White House. I don't mean to be a negative Nelly here, but I really don't believe anything's going to happen. I think we're closer than we've been, but we can't get the government open. We can't get the airports open. I know that sounds like I'm taking low hanging fruit, but that is the facts. And the same people who are causing all the issues that you see on the news every night are the same people who will not let this get through.
Yeah, Paul, I mean, you talk about the airports and the federal agencies who have employees not getting paid. I mean, it affects everyday people. And so this is something that when workers aren't getting paid and airports there's chaos, and you see elected officials talking about college football and how you have to save it, and talking about the Army-Navy game and how that can't be moved, it just feels like Idiocracy is the movie that I want to reference in that instance. But with the college football calendar, the legitimate question that I had was they're thinking of going week 0, week 1 as soon as 2027. Is that something that you're seeing and hearing as well?
Yeah, and I think it's a good idea. It seems early for some people, but the problem that college football has gotten into, and it's really unavoidable, and it's a lost cause, is they've ceded way too much power to the NFL. There was a time when they could have stood up, and now the only time that they really own the sport is the week of the first game. And working at ESPN, I feel it, because you're on these shows on Labor Day morning, and college football is the lead story, and 3 days later the NFL has started, and you feel like you're a has-been, even though the sport is still great. So I think by getting 2 weeks away from the NFL, it gives college football a chance to get lifted off. And you guys know this because the Ohio State-Texas game was one of the highest ranked games of the year, is that if you can, usually the first weekend or two, you will get your best ratings. And once you get people hooked, they may stick with you. Now, I think the Big Ten has bigger issues than just the calendar because of the convoluted television structure. But I'm pretty sure next year, week 0 will be happening.
All right, Paul, we got a lot of teams that are in spring football right now. I wanted to ask you, down in the SEC, some of the top contenders, you got Alabama, who's always going to be in the mix. Obviously, Texas looks like they'll be pretty good. Georgia, LSU. Out of some of those teams, who do you think has the most work to do this spring?
Well, I think Alabama probably is the biggest mystery of the elite teams. And the reason being, we don't know who the quarterback is going to be. Kalen DeBoer, as he enters his third season, decided not to go into the portal like almost all the other teams that lost quarterbacks. And if it doesn't work, then the season is going to be a bust. He has Austin Mack, who literally came with him from Washington 3 years ago, and he's been the backup. And Keelan Russell, who was a highly recruited player, one of the highest, maybe I think that he's actually the highest ranked quarterback ever to sign with Alabama. He needs to play well, and he needs to play well early. Otherwise, I think Alabama will miss the playoffs. Other than that, Georgia has its quarterback. Texas obviously does. LSU is another mystery. Sam Leavitt is a quarterback coming over from Arizona State. He had a tough year being injured after the playoff season of 2 years ago. I could make a case that LSU goes 11-1 and makes the playoff, and I can just as easily tell you they'll be 8-4. They are the hardest team to figure out.
Paul, if that would happen with Alabama and they have a down year and don't make the playoffs, how hot does that seat for Kalen DeBoer get? Scorching hot. He's already fairly unpopular, and I know you guys do get tired of hearing when administrators say, quit listening to these people on talk radio, but they are important, and the folks that call in my show, they're down on Kalen DeBoer, and biggest reason is the way the season ended. I mean, they made the playoff. They made the SEC championship game. Those things are expected at schools like Ohio State and Alabama. But losing 35-3 to Indiana and just giving up, that was the real problem with Alabama fans. I mean, you could just see the white flags being waved as Indiana players were pummeling them. And that really hurt. And I don't know if there's a lot of coming back from that. So if he doesn't make the playoffs, and if it's not a close call, I think he'll be run.
Paul, I'm going to pivot to basketball real quick as I'm seeing this come across my timeline. LSU in the process of parting ways with men's basketball coach Matt McMahon. Next up will be an official move to hire NC State's Will Wade. Did you know that was coming?
It was a big story yesterday, and what's so remarkable is if you go back 5 years when Will Wade got fired at LSU, you could not have gotten a nickel bet that he would ever return. But I tell you what he did, though. He went to McNeese. He did well there. He made the playoffs. And just guess what? The new president of LSU was the guy who hired him at McNeese, and they just hired his former boss there. And I had a caller yesterday said, "What's the big deal? I mean, all the things, and you've heard this before now, all the things he got fired for are legal now." That's not true, but it doesn't matter. You cannot convince a fan that cheating 5 years ago equates to non-qualifying for a job today. It's such a different world.
It's incredible.
It really is incredible. I wanted to ask you about this because I know some people up here in the North are making a lot about the SEC moving to the 9-game schedule, conference schedule. What are people talking about down south? How are the coaches ready to adjust to that?
what's so interesting is I was on the reveal show last September on ESPN when all the schedules came out, and everybody was excited. It was so much fun to be going to some places you have never been. Today, almost all fans and athletic directors and coaches hate it because they suddenly realize that every other year they'll be playing 5 conference games on the road, and without the playoff expanding to 16, it made it more problematic. And the feeling is among the fans that we got snookered by guess who? The Big Ten.
Paul, I want to go back to LSU real quick with Kiffin, with Will Wade and Kim Mulkey as the big three there now and their head coaches. Is there a university that's going to be more fun to cover than LSU with those coaches?
No, I mean, it just feels like a weekly Netflix reality show. I mean, because you have such personality. Kim Mulkey is really a lot of fun. I interviewed her Monday, and she sells out the arena there. It's a real show. Kiffin's different. He's the biggest name in college football in many respects. And Will Wade is easily the infant terrible of the sport. I mean, but they don't care. The governor really runs the show there. He's making all this happen, and he's a good friend to have in the world of NIL when you have no earthly idea where the money's coming from.
It's truly the gift that keeps on giving. I know up here in the North, Paul, like those three that Baker had mentioned, like the unholy triumvirate of college coaches. And it's the most entertaining thing only all the time. Paul, thanks so much for the time today. We look forward to talking back with you again next week.
Thank you, guys, always. See you soon.
And he joins us courtesy of the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems fan guest hotline. This is from Pat Forty. Will Wade and LSU, a strong-ass love story.
This is, amazing.
It's
really.
Absolutely a thing. We'll do Thing or Not a Thing next. Bishop and Friends on the Fan.
The only workplace in America to participate in the Doorknob Fart Game. And we also play office basketball and sometimes do radio. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
File now with TurboTax on Intuit Credit Karma. They'll find every credit and deduction or your money back. File in the Credit Karma app.
Hey, what's up? It's T-Bone. Tired of snoring? Dr. Mark Levy can help with a custom mouthpiece that opens your airway and stops the snoring. No mask, no noise. Call 1-800-MORE-SLEEP or visit sleepbettercolumbus.com today. Stop snoring. Sleep better. Live better.
Pepsi Prebiotic Cola in original and cherry vanilla. That Pepsi taste you love with no artificial sweeteners, only 30 calories, just 5 grams of sugar, and 3 grams of prebiotic fiber. That great Pepsi taste with even more to love. Pepsi Prebiotic Cola. Unbelievably Pepsi.
Last year, I had back pain radiating down my right leg. The pain was so bad I was willing to cut my leg off to stop the pain. I could barely walk and had to stoop over when I did just to take pressure off the spine. I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. In my professional career, I've represented thousands of people who've had herniated discs and issues with their neck and back, but never fully appreciated what they were going through until it was my turn. It's like trying to describe colors to a blind person who's never had sight. All I can tell you is it hurt like hell, but worse. My daily walk was gone, and that bothered me a great deal. Then I thought of all of you and how much more devastating this type of injury could be for you. My life stopped. I now feel your pain. Just know at Morgan & Morgan, we got your back. I understand. Morgan means more.
Morgan & Morgan, Ohio office located at 600 Vine Street, Cincinnati. Prior results do not guarantee a similar outcome.
Today is Red's opening day and free Coney Day at Skyline Chili. Hit your neighborhood Skyline to get a free cheese coney with any beverage purchase all day today. One free coney per person per visit at participating Skyline locations.
Common Man here for Jermaine. Everybody's talking about affordability when buying a car these days, but the truth is, GoJermaine.com has a great selection of affordable inventory. Maybe that tax return's going to hit your mailbox pretty soon. Well, go see my friends because they have 300 new cars under 30 grand, over 300 used cars under 20 grand, and it's only at GoJermaine.com. And along with their $1,000 price promise, no one's going to sell you a car for less. Get started at GoJermaine.com.
Last year, Eric Reeser and T-Bone staged the first annual Fan 5K. People had a good time and no one died. So we decided to do it all again. It all goes down Saturday, June 20th in Otterbein.
Presented by the Ohio State University Wexner Medical Center.
Will Reeser's muscular calves explode? Will T-Bone's beard choke him while running? More importantly, will Tyvus Common Man and Timmy make total fools of themselves? Maybe. Magic 8 Ball says signs point to yes. Register today at 971therace.com.
When we designed our Columbus Blue Jacket ticket plans, we designed them for fans like you. For fans who want to choose their games and their seats, and fans who need flexibility when their plans change. Columbus Blue Jacket season ticket plans. Get your tickets now at bluejackets.com.
Hey, it's T-Bone again. Listen up. Sleep apnea doesn't have to rule your nights. Dr. Mark Levy's been treating snoring and sleep apnea for over 15 years with proven results. And now he has an office in Marysville. Call 1-800-MORE-SLEEP or go to sleepbettercolumbus.com. Stop snoring, sleep better, live better.
Remember what sunshine feels like? Windows open, birds chirping, everything looking fresh and new. Spring is closer than you think, and so are those home projects on your to-do list. Maybe winter left its mark, a small leak that's getting bigger, shingles that didn't survive the snowstorms, or siding that's clearly seen better days. Whatever your home is facing, our team of professionals at Newman Roofing are here to help. For more than 34 years, Newman Roofing has been helping homeowners protect what matters most. From your first phone call, you'll notice the difference. Passionate and committed people who care about doing the job right. And with over 1,000 five-star Google reviews, you don't have to take our word for it. If your roof, siding, or gutters need attention, call the family company you can trust, Newman Roofing. Call Newman Roofing today at 614-NEW-ROOF or visit online at newmanroofing.com. Don't just get a new roof this spring, get a Newman roof.
All your favorite fan shows are available when you want them.
Head to 971thefan.com and hit that subscribe button.
The Fan, Ohio sports destination. The perfect show for quarter zips and khaki shorts. You're listening to Bishop and Friends.
Yes, you are the pride of Olentangy, Joshua Perry. It was just Olentangy, right? Not Olentangy Liberty.
Oh, no.
OG Olentangy.
The original.
The OG.
The best. OHS.
Eric Reeser and Ryan Baker along with you as well. Jody Shelley's going to join us at 11:30. Blue Jackets are going to wrap a through-game road trip tonight in Montreal, and then Saturday and Sunday back at Nationwide Arena against the Sharks Saturday and against the Boston Bruins on Sunday. We've got Sweet 16 going on tonight and plenty of news from the college basketball world in regards to a strong-ass return.
Thing or not a thing?
Sponsored by Billiards Plus. Find your next grill and everything you need for the master griller. Billiards Plus on Dublin Center Drive in Dublin.
So this is from Brian Fisher of Sports Illustrated, and we had talked about it with Paul Finebomb in the last segment, but just a little more on what's happening down in Baton Rouge. LSU's in the process of parting ways with their current head basketball coach, Matt McMahon. Next up will be an official move to hire NC State's Will Wade. The 43-year-old Wade had just completed a 20-win season at NC State. Wolfpack were one of the first four out of the NCAA tournament, but he was fired with the Tiger. He was fired at LSU back in 2022 after an FBI wiretap uncovered major recruiting and other NCAA violations. But as you heard from Paul, the president at a decision maker at McNeese, where Will Wade went after being exiled from LSU. He took McNeese to the tournament. Then he went to NC State, thought he'd spend a couple of years there. That's not going to be the case. Will Wade, your next head coach of LSU. Thing or not a thing?
This is a thing. And, Bake, I thought you summed it up in terms of what that athletic department is going to look like with the personalities there. Kim Mulkey as well, and Lane Kiffin, obviously. But the idea of your coach that was fired in disgrace and was wiretapped by federal agents, bring him on back, baby. Bring the winning back.
Well, see, the thing that had happened was it's legal now, Joshua. You can pay players. You can give them money to come to school. And
let's talk about this, because I feel like the FBI gets involved in these things where there might be money laundering or some other things, some crimes that have really happened in trying to secure the recruits. And the giving the money to the recruits is legal, but I've spoken to people who believe that there are federal crimes that are committed every day in recruiting because the money's dirty. So We don't know. It could be some more trouble still.
And I believe that's what it was. That was a big ring in college basketball where
Bill Self was also
Kansas
on FBI wiretap.
Arizona, Archie Miller, like there were other people involved with this one AAU guy or whatever that was definitely dirty. Shame on me for not bookmarking, but somebody tweeted out, fired with cause from your job. Then get rehired at a greater salary than when you got fired. Like, Will Wade definitely stumbled up here. Like, this is, I don't know if this is a thing or not. Will Wade, one thing I do know, whether he's cheating or not, which it's pretty well known he's cheating, the dude can coach college basketball. He just took NC State to a 20-win season, just missed out on the tournament. His runs at McNeese we know about.
Yep.
He had LSU going in the right direction before. I'm guessing that you're going to see LSU as a team that's back in the tournament every year with Will Wade.
And from the Department of Correction, so NC State made the tournament. They were one of the first 4. They lost to Miami.
Okay.
So a really, really good basketball coach that in 2019 was heard on FBI wiretap describing a payment to a recruit, a, quote, strong-ass offer. And in the transcripts, the FBI transcript is quoted as saying about the situation, I'll be honest with you, quote, I'm bleeping tired of dealing with the thing. Like, I'm just bleeping tired of dealing with this bleep. Like, this should not be that bleeping complicated in terms of getting money to said recruit and using so many of those intermediaries that now you just hand it to the recruit or his agent.
Yeah, this will be something. I can't wait.
We were going to bring this up, and then we got into, it was a little bit of a therapy session, Joshua, that you had with me as a Browns fan before we talked to Paul. But the NFL announced Wednesday the Seahawks are going to open the season on the Wednesday of week 1 instead of the usual Thursday night home opener. Or they usually do Super Bowl hosts on that Thursday. Changes being made because the Rams and Niners are going to open the season in Melbourne, Australia, in a game that will be broadcast on Thursday night in the United States. Thing or not a thing?
I guess it's a thing. It's Wednesday feels like a weird day. It's been done before, but not typical. It's also the NFL just like, yeah, we'll do whatever we want to do. Like, we're going to play a game in Australia. It's going to be weird for the players and got to cross the date line, come back and the whole deal. And since we have that going on and we've already slated that, we'll just bump a game to Wednesday and you guys are going to tune in like you always do.
So the thing in all of this to me is, and the NFL has played their international games on Friday the past couple of opening weeks. The thing to me, though, is it says this is not an option this year because of a provision in the Sports Broadcasting Act of 1961 that does not allow broadcasts of professional football games on any Friday or Saturday from the second Friday in September through the second Saturday in December. The last 2 seasons, obviously, it was the first week of September. I didn't know that was a thing, and I'm guessing that was a thing to protect high school football and then college football from the NFL. That's obviously gone out the window. I can't believe that the NFL hasn't gotten this rule changed already and I can't believe that they're following it. Like, go ahead and pin them. What are you going to do to us? How are you going to prevent this? And I'm one who leave Friday nights to the high schools.
Agree.
But guess what? The high schools are playing in the third week of August now. So it doesn't matter when you played this NFL game, you were interfering with them. I can't believe the NFL is doing this. And I can't believe that they're playing on Wednesday, because I think they're going to end up playing every day of the week at some point. I can't believe that they are following the letter of the law on this.
It's probably more of an optics thing that they're following the letter of the law than anything else. Like, I think that they don't want to piss off more people than they're already pissing off by overlapping with college football in this window. But to your point, if they wanted to, they could, and they're going to take every other day.
I do think, and this is cynical me, if there was a different administration, the NFL would just blow right through this. But because Donald Trump has had dislike for the NFL because he tried to buy an NFL team, he'll hold them to that Sports Broadcasting Act of 1961 because
probably a good point.
A little bit of petty there.
There's a lot of petty there.
I can totally understand. Joey Kaufman of the Columbus Dispatch reported Tuesday, Ohio State football self-reported 3 minor violations to the NCAA for the 24-25 academic year. First violation, the Buckeyes used a student manager no longer enrolled at the university. Second violation, in January of 2025, a player participated in team strength and conditioning activities before being medically cleared. And the third violation occurred when an Ohio State assistant shared a post on social media announcing the verbal commitment of a player out of the transfer portal, but that prospect had not committed as of the posting. Thing or not a thing?
I mean, it's not a thing, but keep turning them in. Just keep them out of your business. You don't want them snooping around. So you just, hey, look, this is what we did. We're sorry, and you keep it pushing.
Here in CAA, we did these couple of things real quick, Reese. It was a student manager that he had gone to OSU and he had gone to like their satellite campuses.
Like OSU Newark. Yeah.
And he was planning on enrolling in the main campus, but he had not enrolled yet. So,
and by the way, it was like running a stopwatch or something.
I don't think it was anything.
And who the hell cares?
Well, the NCAA does, very clearly.
NCAA has got their super important basketball tournament continuing tonight with regional semifinals in the West and the South. And who's going to be North Carolina's head coach? All of that coming up next. Bishop and Friends on The Fan.
1, 2, 3. Here at The Fan is always football o'clock. Proud to be your home of the Buckeyes, Browns, and all the NFL games you can handle. The Fan.
James Laurinaitis here for my guys at Green & Sons, the premier Kubota dealership in Central Ohio. Green & Sons has all the Kubotas you need to tackle your land and come out a winner. They have zero-turn skid steers, tractors from 18 to 171 horsepower, and also utility vehicles. My favorite is my RTV Sidekick. The best thing about Green & Sons is they've been family-owned and operated since 1970, and you will love dealing with the Green family and their winning team. Do what I did and check out Green & Sons located in Mount Sterling and Marysville or online at greenandsons.com for all your Kubota needs.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up, and I've already made around $200-$300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code SPEED to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code SPEED for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code SPEED for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
Columbus drivers, there's a new Ford service team in town, and we're ready to earn your business. At the Capital Ford of Columbus Service Department, we believe service should be easy. That's why we can come to you. Need an oil change, battery, recall, or routine maintenance? Our mobile service team brings a certified Ford service technician right to your home or workplace. No waiting rooms, no wasted time. And when you do visit us, you'll see what makes a new dealership different. We work harder to show we care. Call or schedule online today with Capital Ford in Whitehall, 614-300-6657.
I knew that the first hour and a half of my day was going to be excruciating pain. I mean, it was so much pain, it literally brought tears to my eyes.
Dad to a prominent Ohio basketball family, Satch Sullinger was determined to find relief. And that's exactly what happened.
QC Kinetics, they are awesome. This is my body that they're using to repair itself. And so who wouldn't want to go for that?
QC Kinetics natural treatments got Satch's attention. Finally, a way to get rid of that pain in his knees without going under the knife. And best of all, they used his own healing properties to give him relief.
Since I've been having the treatment, I can go up and down steps. So I'm getting better. And my golf game shows it because I'm starting to hit the ball a little bit better now.
Find out if you're a candidate for QC Kinetics treatments. Go to qckinetics.com/Columbus and call today for your complimentary consultation. 380-208-4544. That's 380-208-4544. Again, 208-4544. QC Kinetics.
With Aetna, I always get a quick answer, and I don't have to search on the internet. They go above and beyond to help me with whatever I need.
Those words from a real Aetna Medicare Advantage member speak to why U.S. News & World Report named us a best Medicare Advantage company. Because we show up on calls with members and doctor's offices when requested. We show up with access to convenient care options. We show up for you. Because that's how healthier happens together. Member feedback has been edited for length and clarity.
Hey, John, why so glum?
I just got let go. The company's downsizing. This is the third time in the last 2 years.
I'm done with this.
Have you thought about My Computer Career? I've heard they can train you for a career in IT in just a few months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI. And you don't need prior training or experience. Now that's a recession-resistant career.
Wow, thanks. I'll check them out.
Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation. mycomputercareer.edu, an Elite CompTIA certification partner. Financial aid is available to those who qualify, including VA benefits.
Hey, it's Anthony, and I've got my own good feet story. I fought plantar fasciitis for a while. That's that horrible heel pain that seems to come out of nowhere. And not being on my feet was not ever going to be an option for me. I did all the home remedies, rolling the tennis ball under my feet. And the relief never really stuck until I went to the Good Feet store, where I was personally fitted with Good Feet arch supports based on my feet and arch size and the goals I have for my lifestyle. As soon as I popped them in my shoes, I could feel the difference. And now every day, my feet feel good. My knees, my hips, my back, they all feel supported and so much better aligned. I've complained about my back for years, but guess what? Nobody's heard me talk like that in a long time. These are a game changer for me every day. They're in my shoes to work out, to go to work, and soon in my golf shoes. The journey to feeling my pain go away has been nothing short of awesome, and just feeling the support I get puts me in a great mood. So stop in either at their store in Grove City or on Polaris Parkway in Westerville, or get started right now at goodfeet.com.
Broadcasting live from the McDaniel GM Superstore Studios, driving excellence since 1916. Chevrolet. Together, let's drive. WBNS HD1 Columbus.
Good morning. I'm Eric Reese. The Sweet 16 begins tonight with regional semifinals in the South and the West. At 7:10 in San Jose, Purdue battles Texas. In college basketball news, Sports Illustrated says LSU is going to fire head coach Matt McMahon and reportedly bring back Will Wade, who was fired at LSU in 2022 after an FBI wiretap uncovered major recruiting and other NCAA violations. The 43-year-old Wade had just completed a 20-win season at NC State. On the ice tonight in Montreal, the Blue Jackets skate against the Canadiens at 7. Heard on the Fan with coverage at 6:30. Columbus has 87 points on the season. That's good for second in the Metro. Jackets are back at Nationwide for a back-to-back Saturday against the Sharks, Sunday hosting the Bruins. And it's opening day for the Reds and Guardians at 4:10 today. Cincinnati hosts the Boston Red Sox. You can hear that over on the Fan, too. That's 1460 on the AM dial. This update sponsored by Germain Toyota. For unbeatable service and sales, visit Germain Toyota on the corner of I-70 and Bryce Road or online at germaintoyota.net.
The best facial hair on the air. This is Bishop and Friends.
That's true all the time. Doubly true today. The pride of Olentangy, Joshua Perry. Phenomenal facial hair out of you.
I don't know about that.
Okay. Ryan Baker, always prepared with the beard. Eric Reeser, again, the hourglass, the sand is slowly trickling for this facial hair.
Have you put an official timeline on when it might be done?
Yeah, I'm going to get a haircut today on the top, and then the beard and mustache will be gone before Monday.
JP, it doesn't matter. It'll be back. If he cuts it noon today, it'll be back by 6 o'clock.
Which is fair. It's jarring to see me with the facial hair that I have now and then without it. So I won't do that to you.
I want to see.
So Friday, I'll have the mustache and then maybe just shave the beard. But by the time Bo's back from spring break Monday, this will be clean shaven.
Looks like baby Reese.
It'll take a couple years on how old that I look, which often isn't a bad thing.
And JP, don't self-deprecate on yours. You're bringing a different style to the facial hair of the group.
It looks
about
good.
All I've got. I can't do like you guys. This is, if you touch it, it's all smooth here. There's not one prickle, one piece of roughness. I can't grow hair on my face like a real dude like you guys.
You heard there in the update, you got the Sweet 16, 4 games on Thursday. San Jose's got 2 of them in the West region. Texas and Purdue, that's tonight at 7:10 at 9:45. Arkansas and Arizona. South region games in Houston. It's the Corn and the Cougars. So Iowa and Nebraska go first, 7:30 TBS and True TV. And then Illinois and Houston are the late game at 10:05.
There's a part of me that, because you guys know, I'm going to be consuming the Blue Jackets tonight. I'll be off. I'm not a dual screen guy. I can't do that with games I care about. So I'm going to be, all the focus is on the Jackets. So I'm a little bummed that I can't be in on the basketball tonight, because I think all of these games have the potential to be awesome games.
Yeah, I tend to agree with you. I'm very excited about these matchups. I don't necessarily do the multiple screens, but I watch on YouTube TV, so I just do the multi-view. great. It's been a phenomenal game changer to be able to sit there, especially last weekend, and have a bunch of games on at one time. But I think there should be drama. There should be some excitement tonight, which I am looking forward to.
So if I hypothetically had a certain kind of device where I could get all kinds of TV.
Well, it's not him. It's somebody he knows.
That device would have a 4-screen as well, like the YouTube TV.
Right on.
And I just can't do it. It's too much. I can't focus on that much.
I'll say this, hypothetically and allegedly, just put it out there. But people who work in this business are the worst when it comes to not paying for content.
Well, it's part of our job.
I know.
It's a write-off. The write-off people pay for it.
No, we should buy the subscriptions and we should support other people.
I do write a lot off. And listen, I do have the Peacock. So I'm supporting JP. I have the Peacock.
But I know about some of these devices. I thought about it a time or two as well, but it just feels like I'd be going against the profession.
This was back in the late 90s, but my uncle was still living with my grandma in Youngstown. And he did it. He had the black box at her house, and she had no idea. And I remember at one point, like my mom yelling at him, be like, "You're going to get the feds coming into this house." Like, you imagine what that will do to your mother.
The feds are pulling up on individuals for stealing TV. What resources?
Maybe around the time like Napster had people kicking, like I guess Metallica had people kicking down the doors for Napster.
That is insane.
So there was so much fear amongst the older population that they would do that.
Wild.
If you if you steal, you wouldn't steal a car. You wouldn't steal a house.
Yeah, stealing a car.
If I could
and
click a button
stealing
on
a television show are very different.
I have a feeling up in Youngstown, the feds have other things to worry about.
A little bit busier.
Yeah.
I would say, but it still didn't take away from the fear that was. And my mom gave me the same lecture because maybe and the statute of limitations is passed. I downloaded everything on.
Oh, dude, LimeWire?
Because
LimeWire.
All that stuff. I crashed some computers.
Nothing would infect your computer faster than LimeWire.
Dude, my computer was running so slow, but bet you I had all the hottest new songs.
You wouldn't steal a car. If it only took a button click, I'd have a Ferrari. I'd have several Ferraris if it was that friggin' easy to do so. We've also got, we're going to give away Blue Jackets tickets that you don't have to buy. You should never steal Blue Jackets tickets. We'll do that at the end of this segment. Jackets and Hurricanes next Tuesday, March 31st, a pair of tickets. Be like Nick, who was early into Hey Guys. He won the pair that we gave away yesterday. CBJ are going to be in Montreal playing the Canadiens at 7:30, as Baker mentioned. I can't do the quad box. So I'll have the Jackets on the TV that is connected to the internet. I'd get it through Amazon Prime, through FanDuel.
Yep.
And then I have Rabbit Ears on one TV on the mantle.
Sure.
That'll have the CBS game with Texas and Purdue. And then on my computer, I'll have my MLB TV subscription to the Guardians.
So you can't do the quad box, but you can have three separate things to have to ping pong.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
Quad box I have maybe it's not about the size. The size isn't the issue here, but the TV I have is like 56 inches. So if you
sounds like there might be a little size issue.
Well, it's about how you use it. If you have the quad box, then everything gets like really small. Like they're Eric-sized screens, and you can't pay attention.
We got it. 75-inch TV in the living room.
Or comparing sizes here,
Well,
Josh.
no, it's easy to quad box it at that point. You know.
Yeah, you got to have a friggin' 100-inch television that the neighbors can see to adequately quad box and pay attention.
Yeah, I get it.
With the puck, with the college hoops, like the action's fast, and especially with hockey. Like you cannot, in my opinion, you cannot quad box hockey. It's
I'll
way
let you
too
tell
fast.
that one.
Jody Shelley again at 11:30. Go ahead, Bake.
I just can't do any of it. I don't know. My attention span isn't that great. Too. I find myself drifting to whatever the volume is on of the quad box, whichever one that is, and just paying attention to that. And I don't pay attention to everything else, so I just go full screen. This is what I want to watch anyway. This is my main concern. This is what I'm doing.
I bet you your nervous system is more calm than ours because you don't do all the multi-attention stuff.
I don't know about that, but I don't know. I just can't. I just feel like my brain doesn't have the capacity to do it.
I think you've got plenty of capacity.
Joshua, when you lived in Chicago, how big were the Chicago Bulls? How big were they currently?
Sell out every game.
Yeah.
For a team that was always a play-in.
Always. Them and the Miami Heat, back-to-back play-in champions.
People were showing up and showing out.
So there's been talk about Billy Donovan and his tenure in Chicago, and it feels like to me, because of what you just said, you just keep things rolling. Like they're never going to tank.
No, they're not. And
he has them winning just enough.
I think that is also an ownership group that just doesn't like to do
the cash
much of
ticket
anything.
sales.
Yeah. I mean, they're fine with the status quo.
Yeah.
And this is, I'll say this. When your team is like that, when they're bad or when they're just constantly middling and like there's no hope for them to really take the next step, if you continue to sell out games, it's your fault as a fan for not applying pressure via your dollars. Because I'm sure if their capacity started to dip a little bit and people weren't going to those games, they might have to think about doing it. But as long as people are showing up and they're paying for tickets and buying concessions to watch a team that might be in the play-in, like, what is my incentive as an organization to do anything differently?
It's funny when you say it like that. I almost guarantee everybody listening is thinking of not the Chicago Bulls, but thinking of a team that they root for in their daily lives that packs arenas, but never really goes for it in free agency. Mine's the Cleveland Guardians. I'm sure everybody's got their own individual ones. And the reason I ask about Billy Donovan is he does have odds to be the next head coach at North Carolina. Florida's Todd Golden's the favorite, plus 300. Billy Donovan, plus 800. You've got Alabama's Nate Oates, plus 600. Michigan's Dusty May, plus 700. Arizona's Tommy Lloyd's a long shot. That's plus 2,000 for the head coach of the Wildcats. They've got Arkansas tonight at 9:45. And Tommy, when previewing their Sweet 16 matchup, was asked about that UNC vacancy.
What I'll say, Seth, is I already have one of the best jobs in the country. And one thing we talk about in our program all the time, and I think I've gotten better at, and I think our team's been crushing it this year, is just the ability to have full focus and be present in the moment. And so I think we have a great team. I think we have a chance to advance in this tournament game by game, but I'm not delusional. I know we could lose tomorrow, but this team deserves my full focus. So there's not one thing that is going to knock me off my path. I'm 100% focused on Arizona basketball and this program, and I can't wait till the ball gets thrown up tomorrow, and then can't wait to try to figure out a way to come out on top.
Should he have just said no?
Yeah, probably. I feel like the more you talk in those situations,
because 45 seconds.
Yeah, and now I'm analyzing.
More.
Yeah, where it's like, okay, you said you can't wait for the ball to tip, but you didn't say you can't wait to, like, if the season were to end, to get back with the team in the off season. You're like, we're gonna overanalyze these things. I think this is one of the situations where I advocate for people to lie. I think you should lie your ass off in this situation, but you should do your due diligence in the background. And if you decide that you're staying put, now you're great. And if you leave, they weren't going to like you anyway. So it doesn't matter that you lied to them.
He didn't say no, and he didn't say I'm not interested.
Right.
And he didn't say I will be back at Arizona. I'm the head coach of Arizona, and I will be here next year. And I don't know if he should have had to. I think two things are true. That question that Seth Davis asked needed to be asked. And I also hate that Tommy Lloyd, while he's getting ready for a Sweet 16 appearance and has a team that could possibly win the national championship, has to ask questions about something that he's not going after, that we know of. I don't know if he's going after or not. I don't know if he's reached out. But as of right now, it's just people speculating he could be a candidate. And I hate that right now he has to answer those questions, but I also get Seth Davis has to ask the question.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. That's his job.
No,
That's
for
the
sure.
job for Seth Davis.
He has to ask it. I'll go back to it, though. Like, as a coach, you know you're going to have to answer those questions. I would just have a response built up, and it's probably some version of, nope, I'm the coach here, and that's it. Next question.
Jackets defenseman Zach Werenski's he's one of the favorites to win the Norris, and if you're asking the folks on this station and this city, he should win the Norris. He's number 8, caller number 8 at 821-9710, gets a pair of tickets to see the Blue Jackets take on the Carolina Hurricanes next Tuesday at Nationwide Arena. Again, caller number 8, 821-9710. Less is better, except for college football. We'll discuss that next. Bishop and Friends on the Fan.
We used to have a billboard with our host's face on it, but only ugly people work here now.
You mama say you ugly, hey!
The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
This is Gordon Miller from Miller Lending, the original home of the no-cost mortgage. If you've been in the market for a new home or just wanted to take advantage of lower rates, recent events have shown exactly why Miller Lending chose to offer a way around bad timing with our no closing cost program. With no fees rolled in or charged, including the cost of title insurance, you can simply close on today's rates and refinance free of charge as rates improve. Over the past several months, we spoke to numerous borrowers who had heard rates were coming down and chose to wait. We explained that if rates did fall, you could simply update a few documents and refinance again, but why take the chance? So when rates spiked a 0.5% recently, not only was I disappointed that we couldn't help those who waited, but also for those buying a home who just saw a sharp increase to their monthly payment. So while we can't control the market, we can offer an alternative. Eliminate timing and say goodbye to closing costs forever. 877-9-NO-COST, or simply apply online at nocostmortgage.com. Miller Lending is an equal housing lender and MLS number 250-2146.
Get Eco.
ECO. Hey, Jerry, you know how we remind people not to be a sump pump grump this time of year?
I sure do. If people's sump pumps aren't pumpy, they sure can get grumpy.
And down in the dumpy.
But our $89 sump pump inspection can replace all that sump pump grumpiness with happiness.
Even if it doesn't rhyme.
Get Eco.
ECO. Our expert sump pump plumbers will make sure your sump pump is working to spec and ready to pump. We'll even do a camera inspection of your downspout drainage system to make sure there aren't any backups causing problems down the line.
And turn your sump pump grump into a flow-it-all, know-it-all.
Get Eco.
ECO. Jerry, I'm starting to think not everything we do has to rhyme.
But rhymes help people remember things they like, Aaron. I mean, you like hokey pokey, don't you?
I do like the hokey pokey.
Get Eco.
ECO. Eco plumbers, electricians, and sump pump technicians.
I'm Leslie from Pella Columbus.
And I'm Wilson from that other window place.
Wilson, energy bills have been crazy as of late, which has had our phone ringing off the hook. Pella windows give you both a home makeover and often an energy bill makeover.
We hear that all the time at the other window place. We love the makeover. No, wait. We want a do-over. That's what they say. Is do-over and makeover the same thing?
Get the windows that homeowners rated the leading window brand in Columbus at PellaColumbus.com.
It's a new month and a new reason to visit Germain Honda of Dublin. Right now, take advantage of great low rates on select certified pre-owned models all month long. You'll get the reliability you trust, the value you want, and payments that make sense. And the wait is over. The all-new Honda Prelude has arrived with precision suspension and responsive hybrid performance. Great rates, awesome vehicles, only at Germain Honda of Dublin. They're on Sawmill Road, just south of 270, or online at GermainHondaofDublin.com.
Have you ever met a man who wins money betting on tennis? Enter Scotty Vegas. Join Scotty and Dave Biddle for On the Money.
Presented by Ohio for Responsible Gambling.
Sunday mornings at 9 on The Fan.
Some foot issues just can't be fixed by those expensive shoe stores or shoe inserts. A foot exam from a doctor of podiatric medicine, who is the medical expert in foot and ankle care, may give solutions after doing a complete foot examination. If you suffer from foot, heel, or ankle pain, let us help you find a member of the Ohio Foot and Ankle Medical Association so you know you are being treated by the very best.
For more information or to find a member of the Ohio Foot and Ankle Medical Association near you, visit ohiofoot.org.
Hello, it's John Kozik, founder and president of TurboTrack Realty, and I buy real estate as is fast for cash. Give us a call today for an all-cash offer at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000. I buy vacant properties, inherited homes, divorce situations, death in the family, apartment buildings, commercial properties. I even buy my tenants won't pay me the rent houses. Give us a call today for an all-cash offer at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Partly sunny to mostly cloudy skies today. Very breezy and warm as highs soar in the mid to upper 70s to even the low 80s. And then for tonight after 7 p.m., chances of showers and storms, some which could be strong to severe with heavy downpours, so make sure you have ways to get warnings. For Friday, chances of rain linger in the early morning, turning mostly cloudy and much colder with highs in the mid to upper 40s. For The Fan, I'm meteorologist Meredith Garfalo with the 10 Weather Impact Forecast.
The radio couldn't contain us, so we've taken over YouTube. Catch Morning Juice weekday mornings at 6 by searching 971 The Fan. Do it. The friends are the guests and listeners. Reeser and Baker just work here.
Back to work. Back to work. Everybody, work, 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 work.
You're listening to Bishop and Friends.
It's Blue Collar Show. Your Blue Jackets tickets today. Just gave them away. A pair of Blue Jackets Hurricanes tickets we will also give away on tomorrow's program. So be on the lookout for whenever I can remember to do that ticket giveaway, Joshua Perry. We had talked with Paul Finebaum in the last hour. We'll have Jody Shelley coming up in about 12 minutes. CBJ continuing their red-hot streak. They're second in the Metropolitan Division in Montreal. 7 o'clock for the puck drop. You'll hear pregame coverage at 6:30. But with Paul Finebaum, we talked about the college football calendar. And I think that's the issue that we think can be solved. All the other issues surrounding college athletics are unsolvable.
Sure.
But the calendar is something that can be worked with. A key NCAA committee is moving toward making a recommendation over the next couple of months to where week 0 becomes week 1. The Athletic is reporting administrators and coaches on said committee strongly support moving the start of the season for all teams to late August. This would be done as a way to ensure teams have at least 2 idle weeks within a 12-game slate. It still has to be approved by the NCAA Football Oversight Committee, which meets on April 16th. The argument, the Athletic says, for making week 0 the new start for everyone ensures more rest now that the power conferences are all playing 9 games on the schedule and the CFP extending into late January. And then when they expand it, we'll have the conversation again.
Wham. We need more rest because we have more games down south now. Here's the thing. I like the week 0 becoming the official start of college football. People have talked about that for a while. It feels like you've got some more time to breathe there.
Yeah.
I think we'd all be happier if we got college football a little bit earlier. So I'm glad that portion is being addressed. The question for me becomes, what are we going to do about the postseason? Because that's the part of the calendar that's still going to piss me off.
Yeah.
Right? Like, it's going to be the thing that I, by the end of the year, am lamenting the most is the fact that we've got to wait until deep into January up against the NFL to crown a champion of college football on a Monday night. So I'm glad some of the aspects are being looked at. It means there are probably larger conversations about what the rest of the calendar can do. The week 0 to me feels like the easy fix, but the more complicated one needs to happen, and that is the end of the season.
So when you get deep into this and them talking about moving to week 0, none of the conversation really seemed like it was about fixing the calendar. It kind of seemed like, well, everybody's going to play 9 conference games now, so we need an extra week of rest. So it's almost like we want to do this to get another bye week. And you're right, Joshua. The season is going too long. I think, what is it, this coming year? The national championship is on January 27th or 25th or something like that. It's just ridiculously late. It's almost February. So you're right. Moving the season up, I don't think helps anything if you're just adding bye weeks to the season. You really need to condense the time and conference championship games. Are they going to go away or not? That's something that's going to be discussed, but you really need to shrink that time between conference championship week and the start of these playoffs because you've got like 3 weeks in between, and that's just too much.
The 2027 National Championship game will be played at Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas on Monday, January 25th, 2027.
I mean, it's wild because when you really look at the college football calendar, the midpoint in terms of days elapsed is somewhere like week 10 or 11. Like we're in November and we've still got half of the thing to go.
You're playing Penn State and half the season left.
What are we talking about? That is insanity. Nobody would say that's sensible, but it's what we do.
The college football season will begin Saturday, August 29th. One of the first games will be North Carolina and TCU in Dublin. So
North Carolina and TCU in Dublin.
Make a whole bunch of sense.
Should we take a trip?
Can we get a cool name for it? Like, didn't last year we had like the Potato Bowl or something for, what was it? Was
Potato
Iowa
Bowl might be too patronizing for the Irish.
It was Iowa State and someone, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was Iowa State and
Farmageddon.
Kansas State.
Farmageddon. That's what it was.
The Big 12 did not like that term, but that's where you are.
Yeah, that whole thing about what you can call games and what you can't anymore is kind of insane as well.
They didn't have anybody calling Ohio State's pro day yesterday, but Joshua, you were on hand. All 32 teams had one, if not several, representatives in attendance. And I saw this from WLWT, the NBC affiliate down in Cincinnati, where they had a reporter talking with Caleb Downs, Arvell Reese, and Sonny Styles about their conversations with the Cincinnati Bengals, who have the 10th overall pick.
Have you had any conversations with the Bengals, and if so, how are those going?
No comment. I haven't had too many with the Bengals. Yeah, I haven't had too many.
Yeah, I have had a few conversations. Going really well. You know, I think they do a really good job. Love Coach Golden. He's awesome. So excited. I think we're going down to see them in a few weeks.
I think Downs was the no comment there. But I think back to Joshua when you said yesterday that between the end of your final season at Ohio State, the combine preparation, the combine itself, the preparation for pro day, after pro day, when you got drafted by the Los Angeles Chargers, your first conversation with Los Angeles was, hey, we're picking you.
Yes.
That's insane to me.
Now, yes, it is insane. I don't think any of these guys are going to get drafted by a team that they haven't had some conversations with. Now, the extent of the conversations, maybe the depth of the conversations might vary, but these guys are definitely going to become familiar with whoever's drafting them before draft night comes around. I think Cincinnati should heavily be doing due diligence on all of the players you just named.
Mm-hmm.
And if they haven't worked them out, if they haven't gotten them on the board, there's still a little bit more time to do that because they should be in consideration.
There's not a world that I could see where if one of these three Ohio State defenders is on the board at pick 10, which I don't think any of them will be, but if one of them happens to fall to pick 10, I would believe that the Bengals would look like Matty Ice and sprinting up the stairs to make their pick.
So I want to touch on that real quick because we have Jody coming up here in 5 minutes, and it's opening day in baseball, and Matty Ice, much like you, Baker, gigantic Reds fans. Him and Cole, the producer of Rothman and Ice, are running the stairs in the building?
Well, I don't think Cole was doing it. I think Cole was just setting the 2-minute clock for Matty, and he was up and down the metal stairs for 2 minutes. He said...
Why?
He said yesterday he petered out on the Stairmaster. He was supposed to go 10 minutes, and he only went 8, so this was his way of making up the 2 minutes.
All right.
But he did it multiple times.
A couple things here. It's number one. 10 minutes, Matty Ice on the Stairmaster.
Stairmaster's no joke.
10 minutes. You can do the last 2.
Yeah, if you've already gone 8.
We're not going to be tuckered out after the 8, okay? And
throw the towel over the clock so you can't see it.
Just
you have to, yeah.
For the last 2. And then why did he need Cole to time him? That's the other question here. I love the accountability aspect of it, I guess, but
yeah,
Cole, what are we doing here?
I mean, you'll hear from him coming up at noon. I'm sure that'll be heavily discussed on the program. I also worry for Matty, who's in his 30s, like you and I are.
Mm-hmm.
That's prime hammy pulling activity.
If you pull your hammies doing office stairs like we are,
well, I don't know if he's.
Can you get workers' comp if you do that?
I don't know. I don't think so because I think it falls outside the scope of your employment.
I will say my man has dedication and willpower like nobody I know.
Was he wearing the coat while he was doing it?
Wearing strict to his diet.
Was
like
he
nobody I know.
carrying the berries while he was doing it?
No, he did
Top
not.
of the stairs, handful of almonds. Top of the stairs, handful of berries.
He did not have the Chick-fil-A container of eggs in his hand,
Amazing.
or the almonds, or any of that.
I mean, I'm looking forward to hearing what they have to say coming up at noon on that. But for the 3 defensive players that we touched on and their conversations with whether it be Cincinnati, yesterday we saw John Harbaugh, Giants head coach, very active with those guys because that's an absolute position of need for them. And doing that due diligence is such a cool thing for those guys to just from afar, as a fan of their work in college, seeing them have that opportunity is you're a proud parent on a day like that.
I think so. And for me, there are also places I would love to see them go and coaches I would love to see them play for. And then other places where I'm like, man, if you go there, best of luck. Like I feel like you can overcome, but some situations are definitely tougher than others.
Are the New York teams the latter?
I think with Harbaugh in the Giants, I feel much more confident than I would have under different regimes.
The Giants have not been. The Jets still are not.
Right.
But with John Harbaugh can become a professional organization.
And I will say for Arvell Reese, your situation if you go to the Jets can be very individually based on how many times you hit the quarterback if they put you on the edge. And we know that Aaron Glenn, coming from the Detroit system where they have been able to get pressure defensively and hit quarterbacks, the team might suck, but he might do well. So it's not the worst situation in the world. Real quick, Caden McDonald is one that I'm looking out for because it's been quiet.
Yeah.
People love him. They love the way he moves. He's kind of teetering between back half of the first round. Maybe some people think that he's early second round, depending on how the draft board falls. that's been one to follow for me.
McDonald right now on the mock, I'm looking at 28th overall to the Houston Texans. Would love that spot.
Yes.
For Caden McDonald. We love where the Jackets are in right now. Second in the Metropolitan Division. They've got the Canadians in Montreal tonight. Jody Shelley joins the show in 2 minutes. Bishop and Friends on the Fan.
Hey, what's up? It's T-Bone. Tired of snoring? Dr. Mark Levy can help with a custom mouthpiece that opens your airway and stops the snoring. No mask, no noise. Call 1-800-MORE-SLEEP or visit sleepbettercolumbus.com today. Stop snoring. Sleep better. Live better.
Forget the pot of gold. Save some green at all 4 Coghlan Kia locations. Get 0% plus no payments for 90 days on select new Kia Sorrentos, Sportages, and Tellurides. Or buy a new 2026 Kia K4 for $279 a month. Visit CoglanKia.com.
Coghlan has the car for you.
0% APR available for 48 months on select in-stock units. 90-day deferred payments. 5 for $279 per month for 84 months at 5.99% APR with approved credit through Kia Finance. See dealer for details. Ends 3/31/26.
Today is Red's opening day and free Coney Day at Skyline Chili. Hit your neighborhood Skyline to get a free cheese coney with any beverage purchase all day today. 1 free coney per person per visit at participating Skyline locations.
Common Man here for Universal Windows Direct. If you've opened that energy bill lately and thought there's got to be a better way, there is. Drafty, outdated windows can drain your wallet month after month, letting warm air escape in the winter, cool air leak out in the summer, and forcing your HVAC system to work overtime. Call my guys at Universal Windows Direct. They'll take care of you. Buy 2 windows, you get 2 free, and there's no limits. Plus, 24 months with no payments and no interest. Call 614-502-5220, universalwindowsdirect.com.
Hey folks, it's Austin Ward here. They say imitation is the sincerest form of flattery, so I'd like to thank Berm for seeing me lose 50 pounds with Awaken 180 and deciding to copy off my paper. It's no secret, the program works. Awaken180weightloss.com.
Hey, it's T-Bone again. Listen up. Sleep apnea doesn't have to rule your nights. Dr. Mark Levy's been treating snoring and sleep apnea for over 15 years with proven results. And now he has an office in Marysville. Call 1-800-MORE-SLEEP or go to sleepbettercolumbus.com. Stop snoring, sleep better, live better.
The Fan Poll is sponsored by JT's Pizza and Pub, home of award-winning pizza and 32-ounce Yingling drafts for only $4. The Gloves. Shelley time.
We're efforting Jody Shelley. He was in New York Tuesday night. He had the night off from his play-by-play duties as the Jackets were on ESPN. And really, Joshua listed it was Steve Levy and a former player whose name escapes me right now, but it did make me long for Steve Mears and Jody Shelley because of their familiarity with the Blue Jackets and a greater familiarity with the Flyers that the ESPN national broadcast didn't have.
It's always such an intriguing thing when it's NBA or NHL or MLB where you want your local people because they know, but you also love the prestige of having some of the national games and national reporters, analysts doing them, but the local people are dialed.
We go out now to the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems fan guest hotline. We have dialed up Jody Shelley from FanDuel Sports Network. Jody, thanks so much for the time. Watching this Blue Jackets team the other night, I couldn't remember a time where they had 4 lines that were playing as complete as this Blue Jackets team right now and a complementary blue line and stellar goaltending play. Do you have a year maybe with Artemi Panarin that they were this complete from top to bottom?
I don't think I do. I really don't. This is a different type of team. I was trying to think back, like Dubinsky, Foligno, Anderson. That would have been a very comparable group. But these guys have been together now for a few years. They're not the youngest team in the league anymore, which we heard for a long time. The way that they're bought into how they have to play, I think that's the important thing here is that you have older players in different roles. And I think organizations that finally get to that have something that's even a little step deeper.
Jody, we've seen how Rick Bowness came in here and got command of the dressing room and got the guys all going in the same direction. And now it's kind of crunch time of the season, and people are certainly feeling very good on the outside. I know they probably feel good on the inside, even though there are things left to be done. How do you think he approaches coaching this team down the stretch? Does he turn it up a little bit, keep it the same? Like, what do you think his mentality is with this locker room?
Well, you know what? It's fascinating. I just listened to the head coach of the Montreal Canadiens, Martin St. Louis, who's a Hall of Fame player. He has the youngest team in the National Hockey League here with the Montreal Canadiens. And he was talking about stamina. And, it's not the time to be teaching and ironing out a bunch of problems within your group. It's a time to really be in tune with what they need to keep playing the way that they're playing. So I think it was a really good point that he brought up. And I look at your question and look at this group, and I would echo that sentiment as a coach. Rick Bowness, that's his task right now, is to make sure that ice time is at the right spot for each guy. Rest, days off are important. Getting on the ice is important. It's almost like, his job now is to be so in tune with each individual and the team as a group that puts them in the best position here for the last dozen games to keep kind of feeling good about themselves and keep playing this demanding game that they're expected to play.
Jody, I want to go back to Eric's first question about this team and the four lines that are all playing so well. You've got two very good players in Dmitry Voronkov and Miles Wood that have been out of the lineup now for a while. Boone Jenner, your captain, playing a fourth-line role that he's not used to. How important is it that those guys, even though the role may be diminished, that they stay bought in, they stay good teammates for this to all work?
Well, the key to any of that happening is that every athlete wants to feel important. It has to have an important role, whether it's in a game being asked to win a face-off at a crucial moment, being asked to be a penalty killer during a big kill within a game, understanding that a guy like Branson needs to go out there against the top line sometimes on the road of the opposition and being a solid piece of this unit. And I think, with Boone, you look at the fourth lines of the past, we would play between 2 and 8 minutes, let's say. Well, these guys are playing, 8 to 12 to 13 to 14 minutes some nights. So it's like there's interchangeable pieces on the fourth line that can play in a lot of different spots. And I think that's the key here is that, where they start and where we number the lines. You don't really feel like that with this group. Yes, he's taking a lesser role, there's no question. But the importance of the role is a key. And I look at the lineup, and, there are some good players that are out. But, those players had opportunities to be in the lineup and kind of show where they fit in. But when you have depth, it's fighting for jobs to win every night. So it's not just put him in because, he's a good guy and we hope, we got to get him in. It's we have to win every game. And these guys have to understand, practice is now their game. Because in a blink of an eye, things could change, and it could be in the lineup, anywhere in the lineup, and you have to fit in and play that important role that's been taken out.
And Jody, to your credit, second in the Metropolitan Division was where you thought at the beginning of the season this team could wind up. Look at us now, and it's much to the results of those players that have played so unselfishly, the players like Zach Werenski who have been everything expected of them and more. That 3-2 game in Philadelphia on Tuesday was awesome from a standpoint of every second mattered, and you could feel the sense of urgency. Even in a kind of clunky game, you still get the win, and Jet Greaves in back-to-back games. One, how did you take in Tuesday's game? Because you had the night off from your FanDuel responsibilities. And then for tonight, do you expect Jet back in net?
You know what? Well, yeah, I just watched it. I just watched it on TV. I enjoyed that.
Nice.
Kind of different broadcast, how it was looking, what they were talking about. I love hearing about our players, how they respect our team on a national broadcast. So that's always fun to listen to and watch. It was a terrible first period, but it's amazing, right? I play golf, and there's a reason why it's 18 holes. I mean, there's sometimes I'll play the first 6 holes, and I'll be like, oh, I figured it out. I'm 1 over after six holes. But by the time 18's done, guess what? I'm back to 18 over. That's what happens. And in a hockey game, I think it's so important. They had a bad first period, but they understand, there's 40 more minutes to play, and that wasn't our best. So bad start, good finish, understanding that I thought that Islander game, they understood, there's still 8 minutes left in this game. We just got to keep churning our lines over and over and stay in the attack. I love that about this team. it's methodical in how they play. And the maturity is understanding that it's like in golf. You got to play every hole and look for birdies and make sure you finish all the way through. And this group understands that within a 60-minute hockey game.
All right, so when you look at this matchup for tonight against Montreal, it's a team that's played well. What do you think the keys are going to be?
Yeah, they're good. I mean, they're high-flying, young, and dynamic. They've got some guys that they're fast, they're quick, they're highly skilled. They're a transition team. So for the Blue Jackets, you're in the offensive zone. You're trying to make that play to get the puck in a dangerous area. But you got to be aware tonight that as soon as you try to put that puck to the middle, they're gone. And they want to hang out in the offensive zone and use their skill. They play better defensively than you would think. So the key tonight is anytime you're in the offensive zone and you have a chance in the attack, you be ready to immediately get back on defense because they are gone.
Jody, it looks like no Kent Johnson tonight. Miles Wood is going to return to the lineup, at least what I'm seeing from the pregame skate here. What is it that maybe Kent Johnson has let slip a little these past couple games? And I'd have to think Miles Wood's going to be flying tonight.
Yeah, I mean, he's an effective fast forechecker, which brings a different dynamic. You know what I mean? He's a big body. Maybe he's up to speed with as far as how he can get out there and get on the forecheck. I'm here at morning skate. I did not notice that, so we'll see. To me, it looks like Jack Reeves is going to start. We'll see who gets in. But if Kent Johnson is out, it's just a different flavor to put in a guy who's 6'4" and can fly and get on the forecheck. Maybe they need that on that second line.
A lot of opportunity ahead for this Blue Jackets team tonight in Montreal at 7 o'clock. Then you got a back-to-back on home ice Saturday and Sunday, San Jose and Boston, the opponents. Jody, thanks so much for the time, bud. We look forward to the next couple of games ahead. We'll talk with you next Tuesday when they are hosting the Carolina Hurricanes.
Awesome, guys. Have a great weekend.
That's really the key word. Jody Shelley joining us, courtesy of the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems fan guest hotline. Awesome. This is awesome. This has been awesome, and we have so much more to look forward to with this team. Like, this day, Joshua, is going to be bonkers, starting at 1 o'clock for sickos like me who are going right to the Peacock for baseball.
Yeah, I tend to agree with it. Like, I'm one of those people where I jump in early on baseball and I jump in late on baseball. Like, this is the fun part of the season, no doubt. We mentioned the hoops that are coming up. We got pucks tonight, so we're feeling good. This
is a heck of a sports day. You know what we should ask Jody, and maybe we can ask him next time we talk to him, because you mentioned have a great weekend. He's got 2 games this weekend, both at 5 o'clock. If he enjoys the earlier starts or the afternoon as much as you and I do, Reese.
I would think he does because it ends his work day a little earlier, but a guy like Jody, I think, could do hockey games morning, noon, and night. And so we're lucky to have him every Blue Jackets game day, and so we'll talk next to him on Tuesday against the Carolina Hurricanes. Tom Brady's got to stop it. That and 3 things coming up next. Bishop and Friends on the Fan.
File with TurboTax on Intuit Credit Karma. They help you get your biggest refund, and then they help you do more with it. Start filing today in the Credit Karma app.
This Ohio State football spring practice report is brought to you locally on The Fan by Roosters and by your Ohio Kubota dealers.
Ohio State football spring practice report.
After leading the nation's #1 scoring in total defense in 2025, defensive coordinator Matt Patricia is back for year 2 with the Buckeyes. This offseason, the 3-time Super Bowl champion agreed to a 3-year contract with Ohio State. Head coach Ryan Day on Patricia.
He would tell you it's a great place to go to work every day. Does he have options? Yes. Did he have options? Yes. But, I think he found a lot of joy in making an impact on these guys' lives at a different point in their lives than what he was used to in the NFL. We were able to work something out to keep him here, and we knew that was important. The guys, really enjoy getting, working with him and learning from him. And then the other part of it is his impact on the staff and some of the younger coaches that are in that room, so that we can continue to build that room and build the strength of the coaching staff on that side of the ball.
This report was brought to you by the Ohio State Wexner Medical Center and by Weber Grills. I'm Tyler Danberg on the Ohio State Sports Network from Learfield.
There's one medical team in Central Ohio skilled enough to care for your favorite Ohio State team, and Buckeyes everywhere. The Ohio State University Wexner Medical Center is your choice for the most highly specialized orthopedic and sports medicine care. Our surgeons, physicians, and physical therapists have access to the most advanced treatments and innovative recovery approaches to get you back in your game. Because on or off the field, our team is your team. The choice for your orthopedic orthopedic care is clear.
Buckeye fans, game day just got hotter. Whether you're parked in the shoe lot or grilling at home, it's not a tailgate without Weber Grill's Traveler Grill. Fires fast, folds flat, fits compact, and delivers championship flavor every time. Burgers, brats, steaks, even rival fans agree. Bring the taste of victory wherever you grill. The Weber Traveler Grill. Tailgate tough, Buckeye proud. Weber Grills. Taste the tradition. Proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
Everybody knows that Roosters is a fun, casual joint with their award-winning waitstaff, great food, fun, and laughter. It's a quick stop on the way home to sit back and unwind. It's a front row seat to the big game. Roosters is where you, your family, and friends can order pizzas, sandwiches, salads, and more. And the home of award-winning wings that are fresh, never frozen, and so big you won't believe it. It's your family's other dinner table. Roosters, a fun, casual joint, and the official wing sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
Imagine yourself in a new Toyota, like the family-sized Toyota Highlander or the bigger, more powerful Grand Highlander, with your choice of 3 different powertrains and a full-size third row. Now through March 31st, get 4.99 APR financing on any new 26 Highlander or Grand Highlander, including hybrid models, with approved credit through TFS. Plus, every new Toyota comes with Toyota Care, 2 years no-cost maintenance. For complete details, go to Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
Tax time is here, folks. That refund's burning a hole in your pocket, or maybe you're just ready for something bigger, tougher, more you? Well, listen up. Capital Ford's got what you need. Get 0% APR financing for up to 60 months on select models. Plus, qualified buyers can defer payments for up to 90 days. Capital Ford has options for everyone. Great rates, flexible terms, and approval power to put you behind the wheel fast. No perfect credit needed. So what are you waiting for? Visit CapitalFordColumbus.com today. See dealer for details. Not all buyers qualify.
All the folks at Buckeye, night or day. The water's standing in the tub. My toilets will not flush. The smell's getting bad in here. I need help in a rush.
Clogged drain, no problem. It's 93 or free. I'll clear any drain or you don't pay with a 1-year guarantee.
It's 93 or free. Guaranteed.
Call 614-683-9911. Call the folks at Buckeye, night or day.
Bishop and Friends is sponsored by Diamond Seller, your true jeweler for almost 80 years. The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
Reese's mustache is so nice, it has its own area code. You're listening to Bishop and Friends.
The aforementioned mustache man, Joshua Perry, Ryan Baker. Thanks to Jody for joining us in the last segment. Yeah, he's busy. 3 games in the next 4 days, a back-to-back Saturday and Sunday at Nationwide. The Sharks, the Bruins, the Canadians, and Montreal tonight to wrap up that road trip. Daily Fan Poll, sponsored by JT's Pizza and Pub, asks, are you excited for opening day today? 66% say yes. 33% are liars. Say no. How can you not be excited? How can you not romanticize about America's pastime? Which we might have to put a moratorium on that.
Well, yeah.
Because it's not.
Well, it's okay. I think if you're a fan of sports, you like the excitement. I think Bake brought up maybe the biggest part about this whole thing. I think sports are built on hope and the idea that every team has some level of hope right now is the important part.
162-0.
That's right.
Starts today, unless you're the San Francisco Giants.
Well,
who could still win the rest of their games.
Sure.
I thought what Netflix, I understood what Netflix is trying to do. I understand what Netflix is trying to do from a live sports standpoint. You got to get in. Live sports is probably the biggest commodity we have in television.
Yes.
The eyeballs have to be on it during, because the eyeballs cannot DVR it and feel good. You want to be part of it. That's the fear of missing out.
Yeah, and you have to avoid everything else if you're not watching live.
Got to avoid. So you can't get on social media.
Yep.
You're not part of the conversation the next day if you've missed out on something. It's why they're trying literally everything on every streaming service. It's why the flag football thing was a thing, because they're just trying a different way to get our attention.
I just wish Netflix would give us the games instead of all of the ancillary things that nobody asked for.
Yes.
I feel like I don't know. As a sports fan, like, I don't need all that extra. I know they're trying to get more than just that, but it almost feels like the people who make those decisions think we're dumb. because they're like, oh, you're going to love all this. And it's like, no. I love the thing that you're trying to broadcast that you're not giving us right now.
I love baseball.
Yeah.
Everything else, I'm good. Also, Tom Brady, I'm good. I think most people are good. He says he's explored the possibility of coming out of retirement and returning to the NFL.
These people are sick, man.
Because of how he performed in that flag football thing. Similarly with Odell Beckham Jr. This from ESPN story, adding the league did not like that idea very much.
What, as somebody who's also an owner and a broadcaster?
I wonder why that would raise some consternation.
Yeah, we probably shouldn't do any of that.
Brady, I think it's time, buddy. I think everybody, including your body, is probably good.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3 things.
Sponsored by Newman Roofing. For all your roofing, gutter, or siding needs, call Newman Roofing today at 614-NEW-ROOF or visit online at newmanroofing.com.
Okay, I know how much everybody loves to talk about their brackets. I know how much everybody loves hearing about other people's brackets. I want to again, because I think this is probably going to be something we have to do as a show, thank Connor and Chris, loyal listeners, for setting up the Bishop and Friends Bracket Challenge on ESPN. There is still a possibility your boy could win the whole thing. I've got Arkansas winning the national championship. My bracket looks really good going into tonight's Sweet 16. Even our nonsense bracket has the potential to finish within the top 50.
Go Nebraska.
Of 270.
That's not bad at all.
It's fine.
All right, my first thing, we were getting on Matty Ice just a little bit about running the stairs and, tapping out on the 10 minutes of the Stairmaster. And I want to throw out an apology, not for clowning him for not making it, but I haven't been to the gym in a hot minute, so I am actually not the one to judge him tapping out on the Stairmaster. So Matty Ice actually is the reminder and the inspiration that I need to go take my ass to the gym when we're done here.
Props to the dedication there for Matty Ice. First thing for me, and I had something totally different planned, but I just saw some pictures from the Woody Hayes Athletic Center. Garrett Stover was named an Iron Buckeye, I guess, for this offseason, and it shows. My boy realized that there were some positions up for grabs at the linebacker position, and he put in the work. Garrett Stover looks like an absolute monster right now. That is an impressive transformation for that young man.
I love the off-season transformations.
I want to apologize to Reese Hoskins. I was a little unfair to him earlier in the show, and I called him sports ancient. He's only 33. I'm 35.
Okay.
However, I am not trying to, and I could never play professionally at any sport. Here's hoping, Reese. I think Hoskins, he might slide into the DH role tonight for the Guardians against the Mariners. I'm not 100% sure exactly where they want to play him. Maybe he goes first, and you have, again, I'm not 100% sure what Stephen Vogt wants to do with Hoskins, but more power to him. And for the Reds, 410, baseball season's back. The Fan family of stations is your home for the Reds. You've got opening day, Reds and Red Sox at 4:10 first pitch, coverage at 3:40 on the Fan 2. That's 1460 on the AM dial or 97.1 FM HD2. As a reminder, MLB rules prevent streaming. So you got to tune in on the radio if you want to get the Reds on the radio.
All right, my second thing, and I know we've talked about it during this show, but the late starts for these games is really chapping me right now. And listen, I get it. West Coast, I understand all the things. I've got kids. I'm just a tired person generally. I want to be up for these things. I want to make sure I can watch every second of these things for tomorrow. But you're making it difficult on the boy right now. And maybe I'm getting to that age where I can't do it, but I'm starting to get to can't do it.
That Houston, Illinois game is probably what I fall asleep to tonight, unfortunately, because I think that's going to be a banger of a basketball game. Illinois, kind of a high-paced, flying team, and Houston more a defensive, grinded out. I'm so excited to see how that one plays out, but you're right. I'm not going to make it till the end of that one. My second thing, maybe the greatest rivalry in sports was born 47 years ago today, and nobody even saw it live. That was the national championship game between Michigan State and Indiana State. Larry Bird versus Magic Johnson. Michigan State won that game 75-64, and the game back then was on tape delay, so nobody even saw it live. You saw it after the fact, after it already happened, and we just talked about the NCAA tournament putting out record numbers in the first weekend last week. How far we've come in 47 years.
This is my third thing. The hell did you just say? Michigan State and Indiana State is the greatest rivalry.
The Bird.
No, Bird
Magic.
Magic.
That's a great rivalry, but greatest.
It's one of them. It's not obviously over ours, but
Playing to the audience.
I know.
Right?
You pandered it. You know, I know who I'm talking
Yeah,
to.
you know who you're talking
The
to.
greatest
looking at the camera.
The greatest rivalry in sport is Ohio State and Michigan, undeniably. It's not even, there's no Mount Rushmore of sports rivalries. There's just Ohio State and Michigan.
Good for you. And I agree, by the way, but good for you. All right, my final thing. I mentioned it earlier. Skyline, they got the deal. I'm not even worried about the deal. 5 conies tonight. I'm slamming them. It just feels right today.
I'm pretty sure the deal is you buy a drink, you get a cone.
Yeah, no, I'm not even worried about that.
JP's getting 5 drinks.
Well, there's 4 of you.
I'm not worried about all that. I'm just going to buy the conies, and I'm going to town.
Final thing for me. I love when Rothman and I do this. This is one of my favorite shows when they have this man on. Frank Caliendo is going to join them at 1 p.m. So not only do you get one guest, you get like 7 or 8 different guests. It's fantastic. Make sure you stay tuned for that.
You also get a chance to do some imaging for them, or Frank Caliendo does. Like that's, if I could have a talent, I think I'd be able to do half as many impersonations as he does well. Joshua, I hope this was well for you the last 4 days. We'll get you for one more.
Got to.
Appreciate the time that you've spent with us. Looking forward to tomorrow's show. We'll have a special guest in the 9 o'clock hour, and then Tim May, Doug Maurice coming up 9 to noon tomorrow. Bishop and Friends on the Fan.
All the Ohio State conversation you can handle. The Buckeye Show.
Weeknights at 6.
Your Ohio State.